Okay, welcome to session 14 of Traveler Starstruck. In Verdulin, it would be Decvara Cecil. Um, the characters jumped off from the paradise tropical resort world of Flostono, and they were aimed at the high-tech world of Technica they had 57 tons of uh, no, not common raw materials, but they were loaded with the 57 tons of common raw materials they optioned weeks ago, split various ways among the characters. You all spent your own money to buy your share of the 57 tons, and you have the special 5 tons of so-called luxury goods cargo. Um, all the appropriate papers for it as freight to a certain place in Technica, and so you're all loaded up. You jumped. But unfortunately, the jump roll was 2 below what you needed. So that's an effect of -2, which might be significant upon exit. But you expect a 7-day jump. I'm going to retcon 2 things from the previous session, 2 minor details as follows. When you talked to the Savret chief, um, the chief referred to the crown, and he was talking about other objects of power. So I wanted to make clear that his goal, he wanted to hire you for some kind of ruins expedition, which is basically nothing else but D&D Dungeons in disguise. But he offered you a job to, as humans, to explore ruins with human gear and human weapons to look for these so-called objects of power. That's as far as you can translate from the Savret language. And one of those objects of power you've already heard about. They told you that in the cargo you shipped over to Flostono, there was crown of whatever. Um, and so that's an object of power, fits on their head. But apparently there are other things that they want to retrieve. Why do they want to get all this stuff? It's because objects from their history will add prestige in their upcoming native land type talks. That's it. Crown of Savernan Kiliogu. And those things will add prestige when they're doing their talks about basically the sort of native land claims between the Savrets of Flostono and the Verdulin Federation. So that's one thing. The other retcon is Sorosho Cardozo, and let me see if I can flip up his picture here. There it is. Yeah, show to players. Click the magnifying glass in the middle.
Yep.
Um, Not at all to be confused with some Hollywood actor, but typical Hawaiian shirt from Flostono, really tied to the underworld. He commissioned you to transfer those 5 tons of special so-called luxury goods. He was awfully pissed that you were basically 4 weeks late doing it. I mean, everything's laid back in Flostona, but honestly, you were 4 weeks behind schedule, and you were an extra day in jump, and you took an extra day of vacationing since it was Flostono. So I think some people went off to the beach for an extra day. So it is now day 112 instead of day 111. So he conveyed his annoyance at all that, but you're finally off to Technica. Um, you took off on day 112 according to the calendar page. Um, Let me see current events. I think there might be some current events or news bulletins going on. Actually, a lot of things will happen at once when you get to Technica, but you are a weekend jump. So I'd like to make the rounds and like you to think hard about what you would do in jump. This would be week 5, I believe, of study, except for Astria
Yep.
and for Sicily.
Scissory.
So you two are on week 4. Astria may join in. Well, Jen will
Mm-hmm.
be in shortly. We have otherwise 6 players, and then Jen will come in too. So that's a great 7 players. Brian, who is Tomo's player, is away. Um, Let me go in order here. I guess alphabetical order. Astria will.
You can
There
give
we
me
are.
Tomo, Pierre. You can give me Tomo because Brian wants me to roll for him.
So if he
Exactly.
needs
Yes, I have
anything,
given you control already. So
okay,
click on
cool.
his sheet, and you'll see you have control of the character buttons and the specialties and all that. Hello, Jen. We've just started recording. Basically, I mentioned two small retcons, and you are now in jump to the high-tech planet of Technica, but it's not a perfect jump. You're two under the roll that you needed overall, even with even between between Vet Area and Sissery, they roll two under what they should have, so it's an effect of -2. Um, I'll try to decide what that means when you arrive, but you have a weekend jump. What do you want to do for the weekend jump? You can monitor the jury-rigged um, low berth, but it's pretty much working well. You know, you're confident that it's working well and will continue to work well with the usual maintenance like every other low berth, except it sort of looks like a bit of a steampunk baroque monstrosity, but it doesn't function any different anymore. So it's fine-tuned and it works. What does Astria want to do in the week of jump? You're
Sure, let me
muted.
see.
Here we
Oh,
are.
no,
I can
my
hear you
thing
now.
wasn't working properly. Uh, I'm not sure. I mean, what stuff can you do besides drinking and reading and carrying on?
Well, study is important, so it's assumed you
Okay.
yourself are on week 4 of your study period, whatever your current
Oh,
chosen skill would be.
okay.
And you and Cicely are week 4 of study.
Mhm.
Others are
Hmm.
week 5 in their chosen skill to get to level 0 or level 1 of the skill. If you want to go to a higher skill, you'd need two 8-week study sessions, level 2, for example. So nothing else comes to mind. Let me move on
Nope.
to Jerry. What would Brogan do in the week? Muted, Jerry.
Yeah, Rogan would study, of course. So he would do another week of study, and he would pick on Cappy a little and pick on Astria. And besides that, he would just have fun with the crew. He might go back and do a little praying with Sai
Cool.
Praying
and
now.
compliment Tomo's
Well,
cooking, and he would just be his regular, somewhat annoying self.
Yeah.
Okay, you never mentioned you'd develop an interest in praying or being religious
I
with
it's
do that more. I'm
Tomo.
not really
Sorry, with
interested, but
Siseri.
I do it more to connect with Sai, to just kind of be his
Uh-huh.
friend. So I
cool.
do it, I listen, and I just take it in enough to be respectful to him and be his friend because I want to keep things interesting, you know?
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
All right. What about Captain Wilson Derwatt? What about you, Justin?
I'm gonna keep studying my steward skill. Um, Maybe I'll help Tomo cook his meal. Maybe I'll do like some cocktails for the crew. I'll do something. I'll do something
Okay.
special.
And next, Mantar, what would Ronnie be achieving in this week?
Well, he's gonna continue studying computers, and he's probably gonna spend some time playing cards with RUR67, teaching him different card games.
Oh, really? Okay. RUR is I don't know where RUR fits in the alphabetical order, but I'll just mention RUR. He's very chatty because, of course, he wants to absorb everything possible about human civilization nuances. His goal is that his race, his robotic race, collectively wants to raise their education stats. So he's full of questions, but you've agreed or contracted with him to limit his chatter to a few hours a day, but he tries to spread it out. I think he's getting more time than his allotment simply by spreading out
Yeah,
and talking to different characters, of course, but enough, so that it's still tolerable. So he'll play your cards and learn about card games, but he wants to place, just what the importance of card games is, and you have to give him the idea that for some people it's not at all important, but for gamblers it is important. So you're giving him a
yeah,
sense that the level of interest is varying so that he doesn't try to play roulette with 5-year-olds or something like that. So you
Yeah.
don't want to make any social mistakes. So you try to give him a sense of the spectrum of popularity of something.
Oh yeah.
Anything else?
I think that's plenty. Just hang out, chat with RUR, teach him about stuff.
Okay. Next, Steve, what does Cicely do?
Well, since Brogan's come down to do this religion, I'm going to teach him meditation, not religion. Um, and I'm going to let him sample some of the special herbs that you need to increase your concentration in meditation. That's the first thing. Second thing is I'm going to invite
Oh,
RUR, and I'm going to do the same thing with him. I'm going to be checking on the Franken cyber chamber just to make sure it's in good nick. I'll also be spending time in the power units as well as the jump drives because that's what I'm training on. I'll go and play some cards if that's what they're doing at the time I'm there. Otherwise, I'll be talking to Tomo about his hopes in getting a grab board for his surfboardy thing. That's about it.
Okay, I like how you're talking in terms of the other characters' interests.
Hmm.
But explain to me one thing because I don't think you brought it up before.
No.
Special herbs. Please explain
Yes, they're
that.
very special herbs. All I'm going to say is they're special herbs. In reality, they're not. But this crew seems to get off on those sort of things. So if Astra was to take a sample of some, she'd probably turn up with a mixture of sage, oregano, amalgama, and a whole of other bits and pieces.
Mm.
But it's just dried
Okay.
herbs that are lit, and you just inhale the smoke.
So there's
Uh-huh.
no
Yeah.
there's no narcotics
Probably not.
and other artificial, sensual things in there.
No, there
Brogan
wouldn't be
likes
anything artificial. It
herb.
would all
Oh,
be
good.
organic. It would be all
Brogan
Ronnie
organic.
can
likes
get you
good
some if you
herb.
need it.
Really? Okay.
Perfect.
Astria, Dr. Gaydon could probably test with electrodes just whether it has any psychogenic
Yeah,
effects,
I
but
don't mind.
this herbs
Mhm.
doesn't. RUR can taste herbs like he can. The taste buds also work as
Exactly.
smell buds. There's a lot of interplay between smelling and tasting in a human, but it's not going to have any effect on him, and he just treats
No.
it. If you say that this is a mix of garlic and oregano, and I've had occasion to use tarragon when I made my famous chicken with grapes a week and a half ago, but
Hmm.
he just accepts that that is what it tastes like. He doesn't ascribe any
So,
more interest to that.
so
No.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Pierre, RUR can eat food, but he doesn't need to eat food. So what is he like, bulimic? He tastes it, chews it, and spits it out, or what?
He doesn't have a place to store food. It would not do anything for him mechanically. So he can taste foods, but he discreetly spits it out there's probably an exit valve which is not placed in the usual place, but just, he gets rid of any food he ingests, and he's not going to gulp huge amounts of food, just enough to taste things.
But is he
Okay.
enjoying tasting stuff?
Enjoyment? Oh, well, now you're getting into the talk about robots and emotions, and I wish I had read the big Mongoose second edition robot handbook, but I haven't read any of it yet. So it'll get really interesting when I do. But for now, I'd say no, he doesn't really place any importance on it.
But he's aware of the tastes. Okay,
Yeah,
cool enough.
yeah.
Good enough. Thanks.
And did we get to, okay, Steve,
Done with
uh,
mine.
okay, and Ronnie, and next is Richard. Pleased to have you here.
Cheers. Thank you.
What does Red Arya do in the week? Maybe with a look at what his skills are and his general interests.
I'm going to carry on with that cutlass training, which I've been doing. I got it to 0 last time.
Okay, yeah, so it's what skill specialty is that
Oh,
under?
that's Malay.
Melee, yeah, blades, melee is divided into different things. Oh, but you're level 0 anyway.
Yeah,
You get to level 1 in something, then it'll open up a particular specialty, and you have to click the button with the 3 stars to activate that particular specialty in a roll.
yeah.
Okay, so cutlass, blades, or whatever. If it's a general family of blades, that's fine. Anything else?
I'm allowed to study something else, or I thought it was just one thing at a time.
Oh, well, your study time is the cutlass, but I'm talking about any other activities, hobbies, or interests.
Generally, I'd be well, looking at other things around my specialty, engineering, any updates. It's like being nowadays, if you want to keep up to date with any issues, because there's a lot of software used in these things, I'd be checking whatever information I can, and then maybe
Okay.
doing maintenance on the ship, and also actually
Okay.
looking at any information around mechanics, because that's a bit of a hobby as well.
All right. Reading manuals, the enjoyment of reading big, thick technical manuals like Mr. Scott, right? That's the sort of thing. A very hard to understand pleasure for the rest of the world, but that's what you're doing.
There'll be some whiskey and some cigars along the way as well.
Really? Okay. Okay. Because usually, yeah, it helps you study if you associate your knowledge with particular tastes and smells. So that's your secret weapon. Lots of cigars, lots of whiskey to remember things.
Indeed.
And if you're in a yeah, and if you're in a bind and if there's all kinds of red lights and alarm klaxons on the ship and you have to remember a particular wiring diagram, just dip your finger in some whiskey and taste it and it'll all come back to you. That's the trick.
You
Um,
know my secret.
and Tomo, well, Tomo does what Tomo usually does. He's not here. Mine's not here to say, but that last person is Tony. What is Virgil going to do in the week?
Uh, Tony, Virgil is going over the intelligence reports that he's gathered for the trip. He's going to also work on do his training and his physical training as well. And he's also going to start working on the security for Metanosta, that project that he was working on. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. Maternoster, well, the planet Fredeo, the Fredeans, Fredean
So
robots, of which RUR-67 is one of them.
yes,
Uh,
he's gonna continue working on security protocols, etc., and how to prevent what was happening, how those guys managed to get into system and steal Metanosta's thing, um, to carry out that attack. He wants to prevent another one, so he's working on the security protocols and how to detect things and upgrade and what upgrades are needed to protect
okay.
Metanosta better.
Okay, very good. I'm drawing some nice big check boxes next to those things because I have to sort of figure things out to bring out in the future. Just some general notes. Virgil has intelligence up to the transmissions that he picked up by day 112 on Flastono. Thing later than that. Trying to see if there's any news. It's hard to figure out the jump 4 and jump 6 news propagation. Let me see. And also for the low berth pretty much needs only normal checks and maintenance like any other berth. So that Baroque steampunk berth that Astria and Sisri made can be treated as a normal low berth from now on. So excellent. You passed the week from day 112 day 119, and now you're ready to um, come out of jump on the planet Technica. Um,
I get into my spacesuit
Hmm.
and
yeah,
secure myself in my spacesuit just in case.
yeah.
And I'm sitting.
Well, I think
Those
everybody
who are
would have
skilled
it.
in jump drives can recognize that the jump drive is not really working on track. Um, it seems to heave and interdimensionally seems to vibrate a little bit, like it seems to be
I will be
to your
working on
vision.
that through as part of what I'm doing. If
I would
I'm
suggest
aware
the
of it,
captain to give the order that we all suit up and we depressurize just in case there's issues.
yeah. Am I able
You
to
have done
actually do anything with that engine?
Jumped.
mid-course?
I think the main rule is when you actually take off. You sort of have jump is literally a leap. You leap up in the air. You don't really have a chance to do a mid-course correction in the air. I was joking in the blog called 8 Plus. I was joking that it's sort of an 8-dimensional jump, and you don't really have any control once you're in the air, like a basketball player and do a mid-course correction. Your takeoff is what determines your landing, and you're doing it in 8 dimensions. So there's some mistake that was made. Sometimes even the mistake is in time instead of space.
Well, we
Hey,
totally
one thing
missed
I'll
the
be doing then,
basketball hoop, man. We ended up falling out.
I'll be making
The
sure those system drives are fully prepared for whatever we fall
the,
into.
the the jump drive will be prepared for the landing when you're back into normal space. You don't have much control in midair, so to speak. But you're doing your best. You're trying to read up on the mitigation for a bad jump, but there's very little about it, and and that's just the nature, the way Traveler is set up. Um,
Surely the Navy would have routines for dealing with this thing if it happens this
yeah,
regular.
probably would. I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna ask you to make a jump drive roll, but switch it to a Bane roll and see if you can make 8 or more.
Ooh, that's iffy. But he has the skill too,
Just
right?
trying to figure out where I just.
No pressure.
Let me have a look at your sheet.
Oh,
I
now it's
think
on Bane now. Yeah, put it on
yeah,
Bane.
flip it to Bane, and then in your skills list, you can go to the little button with 3 stars next to, of course, let me go see what it is. The one,
13.
so I'm on the wrong person's sheet. What am I doing here? 13 on a Bane roll?
That's pretty damn good.
Holy
Yeah,
cow,
he
how'd you do
threw
that?
out a 6.
Oh,
He
right,
rolled
okay,
two
you had 6
sixes.
plus 4, so the 6, 6, and 4, that's very, very good. Okay,
True.
I'm going to try to factor that in. I'm not really working upon the strict rules, but you'll see what's happening. Um, Now, Virgil, okay, so I'm going to say that, sorry, not Virgil, but Ved um, has tried to successfully to make corrective measures.
Having done that, I think I deserve a whiskey, and he pours himself a drink.
Yeah, you did a pretty good thing with your study of manuals. Sorry, were you the one studying manuals? But you made a corrective measure,
Yeah,
and you've been grappling with a total of 8 dimensions, I think. Uh, so you grappled with an 8 dimension, and you're hoping that every dimension snaps back into reality as close to the original track as you're hoping for. I think you made and you Bane roll was 13, which is amazing for your skill level. Um, great, great. So and switch your sheet back to normal rolls, by the way. Don't forget to do that.
yeah.
Okay, now coming out of jump, I'd like to ask you guys to do one thing. You can evacuate the ship for safety, like ships do for coming out of jump and for combat. I'd like to ask you to place your tokens exactly where you would be at the moment you're coming out of jump. Like everybody normally has a station. Do you prefer to be all seated in the bridge in your spacesuits? Do you prefer to be in some other part of the ship? Show me by moving your tokens to the appropriate spot.
Yeah.
Ronnie's in his stateroom. Is that right?
Okay.
What would
If we're
normally
coming
be
out
in
of
something?
jump, I'll be up front and on the computer console.
Where is the
Okay.
gunnery
If you
turrets?
with that.
Oh, good question, Gunnery.
Yeah.
Can
Is
I
that
Where would
operate a
they be?
gunnery turret from the engineering
I would be in the
area?
pilot seat, of course. I'm the pilot.
Yeah.
I'm usually in the gunneries. I'm generally in the gunnery, one of the gunnery blisters.
Yeah, that's cute. I don't see that there's no specific room
I
dedicated
would,
to
I would,
gunnery.
as your pilot, and I would suggest to the captain that we always have our gunners in the gunnery turrets when we come out of jump, just in case. So I would think
Yeah.
that would be expected.
Yeah, I'm in.
Okay, well, put yourselves on the outside of the ship. That'll symbolize that you're in the gunnery turrets, but I'll leave it open exactly where that is because the map isn't clear about that. But there would be what, an upper
Armored
gunnery and
turrets.
a lower gunnery,
Yeah, there's
probably up your
upper and a
front
lower.
somewhere. So
But
place yourselves slightly outside the ship, not meaning that you're in jump space or exposed to space or anything, but just that you're on the gunnery turret. We'll take it to mean that you're in the gunnery turret. Astria is a gunner too. Does she
Oh,
want to
am I?
pick one of the
Oh,
gunnery? I think you are.
oh, oh.
Who are the
Okay.
gunners here? The gunners are if I have to,
Ned's a
that's why I
gunner,
have
but he's
the
also an
skill grid.
engineer.
Oh yeah, Astria,
Oh,
Ved,
Yeah,
Virgil, and me.
she picked up an extra free skill about gunnery, but
well,
of course everybody, more than two people share that. The best gunner is Ved.
Yeah.
Okay, so
well, we don't
Richard,
need
you
four
can just
gunners, right?
what's that?
We
We
don't need
always
Um,
four
do,
gunners there.
in case two of them die.
Virgil can
I'm
be a
going to
gunner, or
battle.
Astria can be a gunner of equal skill. But I think I want Ved and Astria as gunners. Captain
Mm,
Wilson is busy captaining.
Yeah.
can I
Well,
monitor the
we can throw
engineering
Virgil on
systems
one.
from a screen within the gunnery turret? I would want to be monitoring them as well as we're
Okay,
coming in.
so okay, keep your turret in the engineering area, but you're also planning
Yeah,
a gunner area. I would put you sort of to the front and left of the bow of the ship, and
yeah.
Astria can be sort of to the front and left. So I'm going to move Astria to,
yeah,
well,
move me.
what I'm trying to do here, wherever Astria was. Okay, she's normally
Move
in her
on.
medic area. I'm
Yeah.
going to put her sort of to the side, airlock, whatever.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
she's in the gunner turret this time. You have two passengers. The high. Do you have high passengers here? You did. Did you pick up two
I
high
didn't know if we
passengers?
picked up any
Oh,
passengers. I don't
Me
yeah.
think we have
remaining in
any
the engineering
passengers
area is
or
fine.
no passengers.
I thought we had
Do you?
passengers on the last jump before this jump, but
Yeah.
not this jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not this time. Okay. Okay. Good. That's
I think
fortunate.
we missed out.
Okay. So Astria is on a turret. Ved is on a turret, but also able to monitor engineering. But he's done all he could concerning the jump drive. Sissery,
I am in the
Virgil.
power unit, putting cold packs
Okay.
on it to keep it cool, because this is going to be a bumpy entry, I reckon. And if I need to, I can get into the engineering section
Okay.
to be the hands for Ved if he's up
Yeah, yeah. There
in
might
the
be calls
turret.
for the typical calls for more power, Mr. Scott, more
Right.
power,
Yep. All that sort of
little
stuff.
thing.
And I
Okay.
am definitely in the best protected vac suit from radiation I can find on board ship.
Yeah, I'm in a vac suit too. I think it's wise done.
Okay.
Hmm.
I've got my
You guys better be
screen
in the
open
vac
though.
suit. I'm turning off the air.
You can't drink whiskey if
Yeah.
Yeah, you
to
got
keep it
everybody
fresh.
has to be in a vac suit because we're depressurizing in case we get hit by something or we don't know what's going to happen. So
Hmm.
that would have been
Somehow you can evacuate and liquefy or store the whole content of a ship's air and then bring it back again somehow. There's
Okay,
technology to do that.
I'll jump on
they
a
always
sensor
do that
station
here.
then.
We just check that off as it's possible.
Okay.
It's like a
Uh,
vacuum
no,
cleaner air system sucks the air out, puts it back
no
in.
passengers. We'll leave the staterooms pressurized in case you have delicate goldfish or delicate pottery or something like that in your staterooms. Your staterooms are sealed. Everything else is evacuated. That's fine. Um, okay, so you come out of jump. You are in the system of Technica. Now, an interesting situation has arisen here. Um, First, I'd like to ask you to immediately, you come out. You're obviously trying to orient yourselves. I'd like to try ask for a sensor roll
Is that
from
me?
the
Or that's
roll.
Virgil.
Virgil can do it.
Um, is
You
Virgil the best
focus
at
on pointing our
sensors?
ship away from
Yeah.
danger.
I have a skill grid to sort of help
Happy.
who might be best at something.
I can support
Sensors
him.
is electronic sensors. Who's the highest in sensors? It's actually the captain, I think.
I can assist the captain if he
Yeah,
wishes.
others can assist. All right.
Hmm.
So
All right, I
make a
need
roll,
Kristen.
make a sensors roll, especially electronic
I got
sensors, specially roll to assist.
I have 3 points towards sensors with my education.
Do you want to try to assist? I'm going to give you a double helping of assist this time because sometimes there's too many cooks spoil the broth.
I
This
rolled a
time,
13.
yeah, that was very
I got an
good.
8.
So, okay,
I got a
Virgil rolled.
7. I need to focus on piloting.
Focus on
Okay.
piloting, damn it.
Yeah,
Sorry,
You don't want to
Cappy.
do.
I'm out.
You don't want to do too much. You don't want to do too
exactly.
much because in Traveler, if you do too much,
All
you're
right,
doing too
Astrid, you
fast.
just hold that gun in your hand and don't worry about me. Don't start griping at me there, sissy.
Okay.
We
Stop
got it.
distracting the gunner.
All right, all right, all right.
Exactly.
I'd say stop distracting the
gunner.
pilot.
You have
Hey,
one
I didn't
job on this
start it.
ship,
The pilot
Rogan.
should be flying the
Yep, you
goddamn
better
ship.
just chill a little. Without me, we ain't getting nowhere. I heard you. Okay. I'll get that sensor thing going in. What do we got going on?
Okay. The main role for sensors, I think I'm going to give everybody, well, +2 because 2 players had +1. Jerry's character Brogan did not contribute this time. Justin, make a roll for Captain Durwatt's sensors, +2.
What am I adding with all this help?
Electronic sensors, make your electronic sensors roll, and then with a modifier, add +2 in it.
Okay. Okay, we broke it.
Oh,
We got
okay.
Yeah.
16.
Make sensors 16. Okay. Um, star field of the system. So you're back in black space, stars, star field. You can very quickly get a fix about where you are in the Technica system. I'm going to bring up an interesting thing here, which I find highly interesting, and you're going to find it awfully interesting in a split second. Here is the orbit table for Technica. Boom, you can click the magnifying glass. Now, Technica is, if you read the very, very top line, top right, it's next to a K-type star. It's in orbit number 1. Orbit 0 is kind of a, pre-Mercury orbit,
There's
which
a lot of
sometimes
planets here.
happens.
Oh, those moons too. Those are
There's a
moons too.
big gas giant right next to the star, which is being distorted by the star's gravity. It's called the blot. It's got a number of moons, but Technica is in orbit 1. But unfortunately, you have deviated off course. So Technica is kind of as close to the star as the Mercury is to our sun. That's orbit
Yeah,
1.
with the
Orbit
smaller
2 is
star.
like the orbit of Venus, and it's called Dirembula. But if you read what Dirembula is, it's an asteroid belt. You have landed in the middle of asteroids. Now, if you're orbiting in the same orbit as asteroids, they just, they're big rocks that hang in space. You're not really in danger. But unfortunately, you
Hmm.
have landed in an asteroid field with a certain relative velocity. And I'm going to start playing a bit of original ominous
Oh
music here.
shit! I better get on my piloting skills, Cappy.
Why
Yeah,
haven't you seen this already?
We're gonna hit some
Pilot
rocks, Cappy.
Rogan.
yeah. Let me set it up here. Okay,
Fine.
so
We gotta do some
enough.
maneuvers.
I'll
Gotta do some
Yeah,
start
quick
so
printing
maneuvers
out
here. Everybody
hull
hold tight.
plates.
no more shipboard sounds. Here's a small segment of ominous music. And here is a map. This is basically a kind of, how can I describe it? It's a football map to help you.
Where's the map?
This is the map, and this is a token.
I love the music.
This is my
Where's?
original composition.
Are you changing the
Yeah,
roll 20 screen
It,
or what?
it's on the
oh,
upper
it's all on the same
right.
thing. I'm going to direct you in a moment. There we
Oh,
go. Let's see where I'm at. Okay, there we go. Okay, so
here
I'm
we
going to
are.
direct attention to here. Bring your zoom down to maybe 60%, maybe,
Okay.
and you'll see a token for you. Basically, you're in deep space. The trouble is that you're in an asteroid field of big rocks, small rocks, with a difference in relative velocity. So that's bad. It's just how you came out. Um, you have a very high relative speed in
Playing
kilometers per
asteroids,
second.
guys. Playing asteroids.
Yeah.
Gunners might want
Now,
to target in on something too and shoot it away. I'll do some
the,
maneuver evading.
the way it works here is primary help is the pilot, Brogan Riley. Brogan
Yeah.
Riley has to do his Han Solo thing and dipsy doodle and maneuver around the big rocks. The gunners have to try to shoot down the small rocks if the small rocks occur. If they both fail, and you're going to have some big rocks impacting you with large speed. In fact, you do hear some small rocks and junk hanging on the rather strong hull of the ship already.
More
So
power
very
to
small
shield.
rocks,
I'm already
and
printing
you
hull
have to go
plate.
through. You have to go through 4 rounds of this hell until you decelerate enough to match the speed of the orbit. So that's what I've decided. So it'll be a series of 4 rounds, and if you fail, if you're unfortunate in one of these rounds, ship might take a regular damage and might even get a roll on the
Everybody
critical
hold on
success.
to your seats, man. I'm
Yeah,
hitting the
D6.
controls. There's rocks out here.
Okay.
This is not pretty.
Yeah, and
Ben
I
downs the
don't think
last of his
anybody is.
whiskey and puts the glass down and shuts his lid.
Oh
And if
no,
I
we're not
can,
drinking no whiskey. I don't drink when I'm coming out of
okay,
jump. I only drink when I'm
Yeah,
in
that
jump.
makes sense.
I'm sober when I come out of jump.
Good.
I
okay,
don't
so we
mess
had
around.
the week drunk. I am moving the ship token. Whoops, I've got to get to the da da da. I am moving the ship token. Oops, all this that's on the map. Let's see what a layer token layer.
You might be.
There
Yeah.
we go. Okay. I'm moving the ship token to line number 1, which means it's your first round of rolls. You have to survive 4 rounds of these rolls. These rounds are not the same as 6 second rounds of melee, and they're not the same as ship rounds either. I'm playing sort of fast and loose with the rules,
That's
but I
cool.
know you
That's the
need to
way to
make a
do it,
series of
Pierre.
rolls.
That's the way to do
So,
it.
Jerry, you are confronted with a field of large rocks. You have an
Yeah.
accurate fix on where you are in the system and what your relative
And I
velocity
see,
was. Your
and I know
sensor
the
was
rocks are there thanks to the sensor scan we got. So I know kind of the location. I see it in front of me. I can do a little dodge and ramble and do my hands. Do you want me to roll right now?
Yeah, roll it. My little music sequence was just a minute long. I'll run it one more time.
I
This is
got a
my
10.
unoriginal music.
Spacecraft roll 10.
Okay,
Oh, Cappy, did you see the size of that rock go past our head? Did you see that
okay,
rock, Cappy? That was a
What?
big
What
boy.
is wrong with you? Ugh.
okay. Um, there's still some small junk. I would like the
Give that
gunners to
man a
roll
drink.
a gunner roll to make sure that they can blast or vaporize. They practically vaporize the smaller rocks to keep significant things from hitting the hull. I'd like each gunner to make a gunner roll, regular roll.
Don't scratch up my ship, Brogan. I
This
want
thing
no
on me, this on
scratches.
flutters
Gunner.
now. I'm dodging the big rocks. I can't
Yeah,
shoot the
that's
little rocks that are
Astria,
everywhere.
Yeah.
and Ved, who I'm talking about. Look for your gunner turret specialty. There we go. Okay, very good. Okay, so doing a very good job of blasting and vaporizing. You remember that in the Verdulan Federation, where
Mm-hmm.
lasers and missiles are officially meteorite clearance devices. That's how the paperwork is written up. So you're literally using it in its intended function. So round 1 successful. I'm moving the ship token to line 2,
Yeah,
and I'm trying to see if there's any differences. Let me see
got to
here.
adjust the velocity in this
You're
course. You know,
you're slowing down. The idea is to slow down or speed up, either way, a relative
we're
speed
trying
to
to
match
match
the
the
orbits.
velocity of the asteroid belt and
Yeah.
then get out of it and set our course to the main world. But
If
right
you have
now we
the
got
correct orbital speed, you'd be in a 3D space of large suspended rocks that are motionless relative to you. Sometimes there's the occasional collision. Fortunately, you've had a chart of what the asteroid field is. Trouble is, asteroids can't be as accurately mapped as planets because they interact chaotically. So sometimes the asteroid field charts have to be revised every day or every week or something. But you're slowing down. Jerry, again, make a roll for Brogan Riley.
9.
Okay, good, good. So you're still managing to swerve around the big stuff.
That was
Uh,
another big one. Woo! That would have
yeah,
scraped the side pretty bad, Cappy.
Yeah, you went right towards all the little ones, though.
yeah. Well, it's a trade-off. If you avoid the big
Hey,
ones,
hey,
you
hey,
might run into
Astrid
a
likes
field of
shooting
little
them little
ones.
ones. She'll get it taken care of for us.
Yeah.
Don't worry. You'd rather
I
get
think
hit
I
from a little one than a big one, wouldn't you?
Astria, these aren't
think
living. You can kill them.
gunners are young. You know, the
Stop.
gunners are relatively
Mhm.
young. They haven't had like 10 or 11 terms or something. Their reflexes are beautiful. Please make some gunner rolls now. Astria and Ved.
Pew pew pew
Okay.
pew.
Nice.
Okay.
Ooh.
Astria's failing to hit one thing, a mid-sized type rock. I'm just going to roll uh,
I got it covered.
50%, 1 to 50. 1 to 50, it might bump the ship. 51 to 100, it won't. Oh, it
Can't
does
miss
not.
this.
Of course, 69.
Okay.
69 all the way.
Woo!
Yeah. You
All the
like
Okay.
way.
69.
Round
That's
two.
69.
Round
Yeah.
two, you pass. So you're slowing
Okay.
down even more. Round three, I'm moving you to the third line of this graphic. Um, again, same sort of rolls. I think you're slowing down
Uh-oh.
basically halfway. No, sorry,
Yeah.
the pilot rolls first.
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
Sorry.
your
good.
roll don't count. Don't worry. I got to roll.
Okay.
All right. There's another big one. Shit. I'm going to dive this sucker right down around
Yeah,
it.
there's a big one.
11. Oh, I missed that big one. Did
Okay.
you see that, Cappy?
Yeah.
It was coming
Well,
right
I'm
at me.
closing
It
my
dived
the
eyes.
down
I don't want
around.
to see
let me
nothing.
let me let me narrate a bit. Let me narrate a bit. In 3D, two large big mother rocks banged together, but when they recoiled, they left a space open for Jerry to slide in sideways,
I
and
split
as
it
soon
in
as
sideways right
Sideways.
after
uh,
69
Missed it
hits.
right.
Sideways.
Yeah.
I think it gently caressed some outreaching
Yeah.
antenna, but that was it. That was it. No
That was
damage.
it.
Now
That's
the
right.
cheater
Yay.
make a roll.
No
Your first
damage.
roll doesn't count, Jen. Make another roll.
Oh, okay,
And
good.
Ved,
Yay.
Nice.
excellent.
Nice.
The
Good
same
job.
standard rolls.
Mhm.
Um, Now you're in the fourth and last round. I think you're starting to see clearing, but there's still a whole lot of annoying mother big rocks and other junk and debris. And I think the um, endurance is a factor. I think the gunners are tiring a little bit. I'm going to say regular roll for the pilot, but the gunners have been agitating and moving their servos around, and I think they
Look
might
at
roll with a
that,
bane.
shooters. Hey, does
First,
my 15?
Jerry, make
Does
a
my
roll
15?
for Brogan.
I just
You
did,
just
and I
did.
rolled a
You did okay.
15.
There,
I
15.
rolled a
Wow. Okay.
15. So that
Let
might
me see
help
how
my
that works
gunners
out.
a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, good. I'd like the gunners to set their roll for Bane this time, but you do get a +1 because Jerry has been assisting with
Set
his
it
motion.
for Bane. How do you set it for
Bane.
Bane? What?
You look at the top of the skills and you
And make
see
the
Bane,
modifier
normal,
1.
boon.
Can I make a
You get
leadership
to
roll to
The
encourage
top of the
Astria?
skill. Oh,
leadership roll
it's
from where you
Bane.
are. Yeah, okay. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
Bane. Huh?
Before we go on, I'm sorry. Does any other character Can any other character contribute in any way? This is kind of a physical, man versus space sort of deal.
I'm
Can
just
any other
throwing
Well,
character
around
add
some
something?
welding torches and some plating
Uh-oh.
to
Well,
patch anything up.
you're ready
What
in case of damage control. That's
Aye.
right.
I
After
basically, I,
question, Pierre, when I made my roll, I put modifier as 1. Is that what I was supposed to do?
That's what you can do.
Yeah.
Yes. So you
Ooh.
rolled on a Bane. One of your dice rolls is canceled, but you passed because you added one. It was Jerry's flying that assisted you, so you have passed.
Yeah.
Um,
Do I add a
and
modifier too?
modifier is one. No, the modifier is one for
Oh.
you as well, Jen. What you do is you set
Okay.
your sheet to Bane instead of normal
Yes,
rolls.
I did.
But
um,
Okay.
I don't see
Pierre,
anything yet.
Yay, 11.
There it is.
No, no one
yeah.
needs my leadership.
Oh,
This
very
Yeah.
dude
good.
got
Yeah,
See,
relax.
Yeah.
Cappy. See,
Nicely
Cappy,
done.
that's why I make more money than you.
But I'm
See?
What?
sorry.
Okay,
I'm
that pissed me off.
sorry. We have 7 players at a time. I think Justin is justified in doing a leadership role, which will
No, I
probably help.
failed
But
anyway.
you failed. Okay, they already passed anyway. So
I would like
Okay.
to.
fortunately, you have now come out of
Astria,
the
don't kill
danger.
us all!
Oh,
This
shut.
this
I didn't see
Cappy
nobody.
asteroid
weird. He
field
wasn't in
slows down.
leadership mood.
I was
Captain, you
going
My
got
to.
Okay,
scared.
backside. Oh,
wonderful.
what?
Okay,
Captain got
you have
scared. That
managed
hurt.
to
Can
pass
I
the
actually say what I
danger.
was going to say?
Sorry, go ahead.
I was saying if I'm on sensors, I would look out for optimal, plot the asteroids and basically go gunner number one hit that target, gunner number two hit that target based on threats, based off the threat assessment
You
from.
also saw the rocks I dodged, the big ones that would have did serious damage to us, like three,
We will
four of
have
them.
targeting systems, Tony, as well.
It's a delicate interplay of big rocks, mid-sized rocks, and tiny
Either
rocks and
way, we
pebbles and
did it.
dust
We're
that
the
could
crew.
frequently
We got
blunt
through
your
this.
ship. You have
We did
slowed
it.
down. You are now matching the speed of the orbit here, and it's a much simpler matter to gingerly get through from orbit 2 to orbit 1 where Technica is. Um, the the space traffic control of Technica is coming on now. At first, the reception is a little scratchy because you are in the middle of a field of rocks. But as you make your way out, they start to say incoming ship. Oh, and it's not a regular human that answers you. You sort of see a robot face on the screen. It looks like an RUR model, in fact, a humanoid type model. And it says incoming ship. You have apparently jumped in an asteroid field. Do you need assistance?
You got that, Cappy?
Would
I
be the
think we
captain
got it
to
covered.
answer.
We do not need assistance. We have taken minimal damage, and we are on our way into Technica. This
Very,
is the Steppenwolf.
very
Captain
well. Very
Captain
well.
Wolf
Here,
Murat speaking.
okay,
Can we
okay.
get a landing spot?
Very well. Here are your approach coordinates, and then he gives you some 3D orbital blah 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 stuff to get into the orbit of Technica. Let me see if it's a high port or a ground port. Um, I'm gonna say it's a ground port, and Technica. Um, Now you did not have time to pay attention to it, but Technica, like other planets, has that traveler advisory on the radio frequency when you come in. But you were way too busy to listen to that crap. Let me call up the Technica sheet. Actually, I'm going to switch you to the star field because already has a Technica map on it. So you're generally out of danger. I'm bringing you to the sector map where there's a lot of interesting stuff. Okay, so map of Technica. You can view it at about 100, zoom of 100, I guess. Um, and there's the Technica sheet also
Nice.
there, and excellent quality starport. So starport class A, size 3 planets. Atmosphere
Nice.
2, which is very thin and tainted. Hydrographic 40%, so it manages to have water anyway. Population only 508,000. Self-perpetuating oligarchy, which I think it has to do with the major corporation going on here. Law level 3, technology level 13, which is the highest I think you've seen so far. Trade codes, non-industrial, and high-tech. I'm going to put a star in the non-industrial, though, and it'll explain. Traveler
Only
advisory is that slow
9% of
radio.
Verdulan people? There's aliens here then.
Well, Verdulan people, where is that? You know how on the border areas there are frontier people and Verdulan people. They intermix because of the war. So some people here, they all speak Anglic, but people of Verdulan descent is about 9%. It's like,
So
Some
the humans
Americans
are
are,
frontier people? Is that what you're saying?
what's that?
So
No,
the
they're all
population is
citizens.
human.
They're all citizens of the frontier. The population is human. Um, this is the world where you have a lot of the four-zip, which are the gas bag guys. Remember these guys? Sorry, let
Mm-hmm.
me shift and switch you there. You remember these
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
Okay, so this is their native planet, and the
Oh, okay.
population. I don't think I don't think there are 500,000 gas bags, so they might not even equal the population of humans. here, and 500,000 is not a lot. But the traveler advisory, when you finally have time to listen to that slow radio type loop, it's a looped message and it says, expect to interact with non human AI interfaces at your arrival to the planet and Highport. The high technology planet uses robots for all heavy labor. The equatorial region is a high temperature band considered uninhabitable as the acid tainted atmosphere affects all metallic structures at such temperatures. But the polar regions apparently are habitable, although they're like hot. It's like being in the Middle East and Dubai in the summer or something like that, 40 degrees, 50 degrees Celsius even. Um, but people can survive if they have compressor respirators that compress and filter at the same time. Technica is home to the Rossum Institute, the most advanced robotics research and training institute in the sector. It's partnered with Technica University. A good fraction of people on Technica are involved in the company. The big company here, it's not the biggest in frontier space, but it's the biggest company on this planet, which is the Rossum Institute, Rossum Robotics Corporation. And they have made so many robots that they created a post-scarcity society because the robots can manufacture just about anything they want. There are more robots than people, and they sell these
Are
robots
the
to other
robots
planets.
intelligent too? Like, are
No,
you? Like, are you are?
no, they're not
Or they're
sentient. They can be very advanced AI systems on some of them. Um, Many professions are transferred to smart AIs, but there's not true sentience. The secret of
okay.
true sentience escaped the Rossum Robotics Research Division. The sentience happened spontaneously over on the planet Fredeo, so that was a total freak of nature, which Rossum Robotics is highly interested in. Physically, the planet has a thin, tainted atmosphere and is too hot. Persons can walk around on the surface in the polar regions barely, with the help of a compressing respirator to concentrate and filter the air. In an equatorial band, the temperature is so high that the bodies of water have boiled off. You see depressions, so there are some black areas on the map. Those are depressions where the oceans would have been. Um, and they have one research area where they're trying to learn how to live in the hot areas. Basically, spacesuits have to be Teflonized. They don't recommend that anybody land or spend any significant time in the band between the red lines because that band is equatorial, too hot, and at that temperature, the acids in the air um, or acidic compounds in the air will really mess up metal. Uh, and there's a research facility in the equatorial area, and Technica is home to the native sophonts that you've already met, 4-zip. There was one of these guys who was in that big little container, but he was captured by the police over on Ribicure, as you remember. They're called floating gas bags of wisdom. They can survive in all but the hottest and harshest of Technica and information. And I try to make a link to the 4-zip handout, but the link
So there's
didn't
low
work.
gravity
So
and
I'm
they
just
just
gonna.
float, huh? There's a lot of low gravity and they float around wherever they want to go.
It's their native world, so it's relatively low gravity. If there's a high wind, they're in trouble. They have to grab onto a plant or something until the wind subsides. So here's the 4-zip handout. This picture, by the way, is courtesy of a different RPG. And I mentioned this. So you've met one of these guys before who was in that tank or tubular container when you were talking to the Savret leader over on Ribicure, and you escaped that scene. You got out pretty damn quick, but he was there. He stayed behind and was captured. But this is the native planets of the 4-zip, and that's basically it about them. So you managed to travel. I'd like to ask for one general piloting role to land. Getting out of the asteroid field and landing. Can you make another roll for Captain
Sure.
for
Sure, I can do that.
Captain Riley?
Hold on a second. Where am I? Flyer.
Now that we're out of having to shoot at things, And the jump drive is down. I'm going to start having a look at it.
12.
Okay. Okay, very good. So you, without incident, you can make a track to the planet Technica, and you can land at the starport, which is at the capital. As I say, it's not a particularly high population place. The capital is called Cape Aldis.
So a lot of this
And
planet is barren and empty,
yeah, now
except for the
in this
flora and
time,
fauna.
yeah, the equatorial area, desert-like.
Can we scoop
Not
up some fuel from the polar oceans?
Yeah, sure. Water.
Okay.
You
Get
you
some
can
Iowa.
easily get water. Your berthing is the standard 100 credit berthing cost for a
We'll
week.
skim. We'll skim first, or we'll skim first and let it process while we're there, and then we'll dock.
Yeah.
You gotta land first. They'll give you the water if you get to your berthing area, your docking
Okay.
bay. I'm sorry, Justin typed something. Rossum Robotics Corporation was behind the attack on Mater Noster to copy the sentiency programming. Well, they did invade Paternoster's inner
It might
sanctum.
be wise to
Yeah.
let RUR stay on the ship.
Yeah.
I think it might be wise to keep RUR on the ship because this could be
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
you,
Virgil, I think Tony's asking if Virgil knows whether the Rossum Robotics is aware of you guys and your involvement on Fredeo. Maybe. The basics of it made the international news.
Yeah, as
Uh,
long as we don't go to any news and have our
yeah.
faces plastered all over the place.
Again, there are things you might not know. I'm going to leave that question open. I'm gonna sort of figure it out as I go along here, and Virgil has given me many other things to figure out. Um, but here it is. You can land in a very well appointed spaceport on Cape Aldis. Now, locally, it is nighttime, so I'm going to give you a little picture, just a random piece of artwork. What is it? It's like that.
Nice.
Hit the magnifying glass in the middle for the full view. I have a tiny bit of music for this too, which is sort of a gives the impression of a modern.
Hmm.
If LA or New York wanted to make a promo tourist music sound, it would make music like
I bet
this.
they got some good robot bartenders
Very
there.
flash.
Good old
Robot
glass of
bartenders.
scotch. Yeah. Looks like
So
a
the
kind of cool
city,
place.
Mhm.
city that's going places, the city that never sleeps,
We
highly
have to
educated.
wear respirators, huh? We have to wear respirators, don't we?
Outside, yes, but many places have like sealed buildings or domes. So there are parks where you can walk around quite openly in the air, in regular air. This is my little loop, but I just have a minute of it. My own
Pretty
original
cool.
piece.
There are
Okay.
some
Cool.
safe places you're saying, but there are some that aren't. So we should be walking around in our vac suits.
No, you don't
Uh,
need back.
We
You
don't. We
need
shouldn't need
respirators.
yeah.
vac suits.
Well, you'll
Filter
notice
mask.
there are places that look completely domed, so that would be human normal air. Very light gravity though, at 3/8 of human,
You'd
3/8 of Earth.
still want to carry one with you on your belt just in case you needed it. You could throw it on your
Mm-hmm.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your starport is going to be basically ships enter through a dome airlock, large ship airlocks. Once you're inside, you can breathe normal air, and the low pressure acidic air is kept away. So you're pretty good. Many structures have a dome shape. Here is a daytime view of Technica. You're landing at night. I gave you the exciting nightlife theme. Here is the daytime, like that, and I give you a more sedate daytime thing. They have a combination football and basketball court, all sealed under domes, like that, and a little other theme. I'm really burning up the music this time. Here's my daytime theme.
Oh, this place is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, but low population. You notice. Okay, well, you're coming
A
in
lot of
at night.
robots then.
You
Nice.
do
Lot
see
of robots.
do see highways. You do see traffic. Lots of traffic lights, red and white traffic lights on the cars or vehicle or more advanced vehicles, I should say. And you come into the spaceport, all right. Your docking bay is entered. Oh, this is too loud and pingly. Let me just bring it down a bit. Okay. Now you're on the frontier side. You're not on the Verdulan side anymore.
Mhm.
You come in. Customs is quite okay. Now your flight path, your general itinerary has been a little bit irregular. Justin, when you're in front of the starport authorities here on Technica, I'd like you to make a kind of admin roll to see if you can wade through all the legal bullshit and everything. You're not dealing with the apparato, you're just dealing with normal frontier people. Make a
I
roll.
got this, guys. Yeah. Here's all the documents and stuff. Yep.
Ooh,
Hmm.
okay, 7.
No,
Now, does
no.
somebody with you? Does somebody want to assist in admin? Maybe
Yeah,
Astria or somebody
Oh, yeah.
else?
I have admin as well.
Yeah. Or if you're both
Oh,
accompanying him,
who's got a higher level of admin? I'm still working on my admin skill.
you are okay.
I got level 1.
I don't.
Oh, there you
I
go.
don't think you should be afraid of trying that. 'Cause
I'm,
I'm going
I,
by the skill
I,
grid.
I have admin 1 for a +2.
Yeah. Astria has sort of a native intelligence that adds +2, and Brogan has +2. So 0 + 2, 0 + 2 is not bad. Virgil has 1 + 1. We'll take a roll from any of you.
Oh, they all
All
get
you
it
all
on the act.
effectively do.
There's half a dozen of them up there trying to.
Yeah. Uh, somebody make an assist roll,
Does
please.
somebody have the documents I need?
Oh,
I got
Cappy,
the
Cappy, I
backing.
got
green.
all straight. I just rolled a 13. Cappy, excuse me. Let me talk to
Oh,
him. I got this.
Okay.
Here's the document you were futzing about. We got everything in order, man.
Memory
We're a good
key. Yeah.
crew. Here you
Yeah,
go.
there we go.
This is the
Here.
one stamp that you
Yeah.
needed here, and here's the other one with the notary and blah blah
Oh,
blah
the
blah.
stamp one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you
Here you
if you
go.
remember, you're not carrying huge stacks of papers like in the old traveler rules. You're carrying nice tiny memory keys, which of course they couldn't
Tablet.
imagine in 1977. Uh, but you're not carrying stacks of papers. You're carrying one light memory key.
We didn't put all our 8-track programs on the shelf too.
Oh man.
Your little 8-track your little 8-track tapes that you have to stick in. Well, I think that may still be the same. Have to
Those
plug in
8-track
little
tapes are about the
Nintendo.
size of a briefcase. You
Yeah,
know that.
you have to
Pull them
plug
in
in
and
little
put them out.
Nintendo cartridges for your ship software because your ship software is just too huge. Those pieces of software are huge. But anyway, I think the officials here on Technica in the starport they were wondering why the hell you had this track. Your cargo was apparently loaded 4 weeks ago, and they were asking questions about what you were doing in the 4 weeks when you picked up this cargo on Plastono, because the paperwork
Vacation.
said Plastono to
We got
Technica.
sidetracked for the vacation, well-earned
Yeah,
vacation. We were enjoying ourselves. We were
yeah,
enjoying the beaches and the luxury because we did a lot of work prior to that, and we
yeah.
earned our
But
vacation, sir.
if you recall, you were what were you doing here? I'm just trying to show to others. Yeah, like that.
We did a
Did
loop.
something like that. By the way, you can press the space bar and it's going to hold. Why can't I do it? Let me see here. Oop.
Yeah, we bounced
I
all
know.
over the
Oh,
place, didn't we?
I have to drag. Yeah, that's right. I have to drag and drop.
Oh,
Then we went over
So
here.
they're wondering why your itinerary looked like that, because normally it was just
Oh, jeez.
that. But you talk your way out of that stuff. You say you had some other engagement or something suddenly came up. I think that was the line from the Brady Bunch or somewhere. Something suddenly came up. Uh, and so they're convinced about it. So without too much trouble, you clear the customs and um, you can seek to Well, you can relax, but you're very heavy with a particular cargo. Uh, switching to the Steppenwolf handout,
Oh
you
yeah.
have 57 tons of common raw materials, which you had planned for weeks to sell, and then it's split several different ways. Um, so you have that to sell. Now the place is marked as non-industrial, but I might have to put a pin on that because they have more robots than people. They have basically an artificial post scarcity industrial base because all the robots working for basically free. You just have to maintain the robots. It's like free labor. So it's like droids. Uh,
Yeah.
I, I'm
The
really going to
people
get,
must live in there.
yeah, I'm really going to get into it if I read the robot handbook from Mongoose, but basically that's the situation. It might affect the economics. They basically do want raw materials more than their population might normally admit. And then whatever they make with the robots for free, they can ship to other worlds and sell. So it's as if they had a larger manufacturing base than their population normally would be. It's just because they're so robot heavy. And several things happen at once because you've landed. I'm going to say that immediately after you've landed, you did not have to disembark to take care of the paperwork. You were basically communicating remotely with the Starship personnel. So you haven't actually left your ship yet. I'm going to say that. And that's important because the following things happen. I stored this on the Steppenwolf sheet. You know that each of these sheets has a GM area. And let me see. About an hour or so in,
Oh boy.
something happens. Let me see if I can copy. Oh, where's the copy? There it is. Copy. And I'm going to see if I can paste it properly in the. I'm going to paste it in the.
Discord?
I'm going to paste it in
Steppenwolf?
Discord, and I'm going to read it out
Okay.
for the benefit of everybody. Okay, so da 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 da. I may have to modify this a little bit. Oops, won't fit. Ah,
Too
Uh-oh.
big?
okay.
Too
No,
big of
That
a
it's
was
just
just
file?
a lot.
well, it's 2 lines too big, so I'm just going to do it as 2 messages. And don't worry, I'm going to read it out in full from the Steppenwolf sheet. Well, the hidden part of the GM hidden part of the Steppenwolf sheet. I've got huge numbers of things. And you remember how you had that hidden bug or program where Brianna Anderson comes in with pre-recorded
Mm-hmm.
messages? Well, you get a pre-recorded message. Basically, about an hour or two. I'm not going to say exactly when, but it's triggered when you actually land on Technica. And when you've actually landed on the world itself, after a while, a klaxon sounds and then a big voice booms all over the ship. It says, "Please stand by for an important message." And then there's a countdown timer that counts for 5 minutes. It doesn't prevent you from using any other ship systems, but it's on all the monitors. And then you see a video of Brianna Anderson, and she comes on. Again, the picture of Brianna. I've seen it before.
You're gonna chew
Uh,
your ass, Cappy.
yeah, okay. Brianna in formal wear, and you can click the again magnifying glass in the middle to zoom. And Brianna says, "Greetings to you once again. This message was set to start after you've landed on Technica. I apologize if the last cargo you picked up on Flostono may have caused you personal trouble. Well, in fact, it didn't. Um, I want to reveal that Argosy Dawn Shipping is involved in more than freight and lucrative trades. Decades ago, my old crew on the ship of the Argosy Dawn, my crew and I discovered that there was a little known black market trade in what might be called alien artifacts. The Verdulan Federation was already paranoid about the Skraelings far to trailing in the galaxy, which the Verdulans call the Stranguloi. And they discovered that there were sites of an ancient humanoid civilization. Apparently, it covers several worlds. They kept a tight lid on the information. However, the local criminal syndicates, often called the Red Hand, or also called the NIAF, which stands for Nia Afero in Verdulen. Nia Afero means our cause, our thing. The criminal syndicates got wind of this information and they set up a lucrative trade to sell artifacts, or the so-called art, to wealthy people in the Frontier Federation and a few high officials of the Verdulen Federation who've also accumulated wealth. Now, it's obscene that in a socialist federation, some people are making huge amounts of money somehow, um, but such people do exist. So Brianna goes on to say, our ships are occasionally called to link up with the Red Hand, accept their freight, and ship them to these connoisseurs. They're called ancient connoisseurs. You have to keep these deliveries a secret. We make fake paperwork for them, but we're paid in a lucrative freight arrangement, and we enjoy the personal protection of some high officials. We don't consider our actions particularly illegal outside of the Verdulen Federation, and our patrons don't either. If you ever run into trouble with the authorities for any reason, you may, at your discretion, call on the assistance of several eminent figures on each side of the line. The list is attached, and this list is to be determined. Attached on this is a list of names. So this is kind of the bomb that Brianna Anderson's pre-recorded message gives to you. And for all you know, there might be other buried messages in the guts of the Steppenwolf's memory, but that's the big message. Apparently, you guys are definitely involved in the art trade, and it's sanctioned at the highest levels of Argosy Dawn shipping.
Yeah. No wonder I was hired.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I want a pay raise.
You want to pay
Me
me?
too.
You want
Uh,
is it danger
Dude,
pay that you want? I
Captain,
can
you're
make it
making money
danger
ripping
pay.
off aliens. What are you talking about?
yeah, for exactly this reason.
Oh, Jesus.
Well, the artifacts are humanoid. Apparently, they're not from the alien Sophons. Apparently, but there's some kind of ancient humanoid civilization. She said ancient humanoids. The Savrets of Flostona wanted to hire you to get some ancient artifacts, which they claim are really part of their history. Um, but the art is probably the same or probably different. You don't know. But anyway, the text is. I don't know if I should make the text public somewhere. I'll make it public as a handout. I'll transfer it from the Steppenwolf sheet to a handout so you can analyze this message. But that's basically the gist of it. Now, there was some variation because Deanna seemed to think that you might have had some hassle getting this cargo, but in fact, you
Now we
did
got
not
a good
actually
excuse,
encounter.
guys.
You did not encounter any trouble from the feds or the cops or the Vocomo or the FRAP or anybody in the Verdulen Federation. And I think it's because you took a little detour to go to Ribicure and back. So that may have helped you actually. But you don't know. Brianna seemed to think you'd get some heat. You didn't get any heat. And after a few weeks, she's going to get wind of the fact that you successfully delivered this cargo, or you have to deliver it to whatever contact was mentioned. I think way back on Flastono, did Mr. Cardozo tell you? I'm just looking at the Steppenwolf sheet. Your orders were. Well, no, you're just supposed to deliver it to a particular person on um, Technica. Let me see. Ship to the planet Technica. So you ship it. You have some coordinates for who you're supposed to deliver it to. Um, well, yeah, Carolina Rudshildo III. She's on Flastono. Um, but you just get the name of a certain person to deliver the cargo on Technica. No other comment in your orders. Um, so that's it. You have two cargoes. You have the 57 tons of human raw materials, and you have the special 5 tons of cargo. Um, let's handle those two things. One of them is mundane. One of them is way more interesting. Let's talk about the 57 tons of cargo. Uh, Steppenwolf sheet. Again, it's called Common Raw Materials. It's split so many different ways. Again, who is going to assist in the sale? Usually it's either Captain Derwatt or Ronnie, who can, well, who else? There's more than one person here, more than two, can handle brokerage. Well, Captain Derwatt and Ronnie are equivalent in brokerage skill. Sissery can sometimes assist.
Mm-hmm.
Captain Derwatt and Brogan is 1+1. Captain Derwatt and Ronnie is 1+1 skill. Sissery is 1 skill with a wafer, but no other adds.
Oh,
Can you hear me, guys?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So the usual arrangement is one or the other. Either Captain Derwatt or Ronnie can assist, and then the other one makes the main roll. But first you have to make a roll to see if there's a buyer for this. I'm going to actually give a +1 factor to this because you're on a world that is more industrial than it lets on. And
Would that be a
see now.
computer search or an admin role to see about if we can find a buyer?
Well, it's a 2d6 broker roll, and then if you can find a buyer, then you fix the price with that 3d6 roll. We've done this several different times.
So they
We
get to roll with a boon because it's a high-tech world, considering what the cargo is.
I wasn't going to give a boon. A boon is about a 1.5 bonus of 1.5. I was going to give a 1, but maybe I'll make it a boon roll just to be very fun. I don't know how to figure out a boon roll on a 3d6 thing, but for finding a buyer, it should be awfully easy. Let me just get to the trade. Where's the trade chapter? I've done this before. I'm just rusty. Trade. Yeah, so finding a buyer, selling goods. Okay, so I'd like you to make I'll just make it a regular broker check, Justin. So you can roll a regular broker roll.
Damn. Oh yeah.
All right.
Yeah, there's a good
Definitely a
roll.
buy. Common raw materials. It's basically feedstock for all the Technica industries. And now we're going to figure out price. Ta-ta. Okay, so
Raw
Technica.
materials.
I didn't put the trade codes on the map itself, but in the Technica handout, I put them in. Where the hell are those little things?
Was I
Yeah,
playing last
on it.
time when this cargo was picked up, or was this something that
This is
happened?
something from 4 weeks ago. You're
Yeah,
supposed to
this is
go from
from
plus
a
one
while
oh
ago.
two
You have 5 tons fed.
or game weeks ago.
We
The
have
5
You're
tons, was that from the previous cargo though,
this.
was it?
Yeah, you decided to go
4
to
tons.
Ribicure instead, so you did not pick up the 57 tons right away. You optioned it to pick it up later. You paid the same price, and you picked up other cargoes to go, to Ribicure and everything. Yeah, exactly. And it should be, I think it should be optioned for 4 weeks now instead of 3 weeks. That was a typo. Um,
Oh
but
yeah.
that's
Yeah.
basically it. Now the price, I'm just trying to figure out the price from the trade factors. I'm going to sort of fudge the trade factors a little bit because common raw materials. Okay, if you're on an industrial or poor world, that helps you. On the purchase world, agricultural garden. Now there may not seem to be any factors, but actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to count this as an industrial world, even though it seems to be non-industrial because of its population base. It's actually considered industrial because of all the robots manufacturing stuff, and they manufacture stuff almost for nothing. They can sell it on other planets at a profit. Um, because their labor costs have disappeared. It's all robots, so it's a non-scarcity society. So give yourself a 3d6 +2 +3 -2 for the local broker here. Oh, I'm sorry. Your broker factor is +2 total.
Can I
3 to 6.
get Ronnie to help me see if he can give me a buff
Yeah,
Sure.
assist.
and assist?
It's a
Yeah.
regular broker roll.
There we go. Nope. Oh, there it is.
To answer
Oh boy.
Richard,
Just off.
Ved did have 5 tons out of this cargo, but I'm going to figure out the total price and everything. Okay, so not quite successful as far as I can tell. So no buff this time, but 12 on the list. What does that give you for sale price? Of course, we've done this so many times. Um,
Oh, that's not my roll. That was my roll to find him.
oh, really? Okay. Oh, sorry. Am I reading the wrong roll?
Yeah, I
Okay, so you
didn't
found a
type
buyer.
that
That was the
roll yet.
12. Okay. So what I'd like you to type is 3d6
Yep.
+2
Plus minus.
-2 because you're a broker. The Technican trade factor is a broker. 3d6 +2 -2 +3. That's your that's going to determine your base sale price.
All right, we'll see if I did that right. It's not far off from
That
12.
looks right. Yeah, 13. Okay, very good. 13 on the chart means that you have sold this for 110% of base price. Base price
That
on common raw
sounds like
materials is,
profit.
it could be depending on how much you bought it for. Common raw materials is 5,000 a ton. 110% would be 5,500 a ton. So now you have to figure out what each person gets back. It's 100%, 110% of base price means you have fetched 5,500 credits per ton, and then every player just multiplies the number of tons they were in for, and that's the amount of money they get back. And it might be a while since the last game when you may not even remember what you paid for them, but this is what you get in sales for them. 15 tons to the company goes to shipboard profits, so that's 15 times 2,500. And I'm going to ask you to personally do the arithmetic and add that
Yep,
to your
I'm on
profits.
it.
But for the ship, let me calculate what it is for the ship. 15 times 5,500 does the oh no the Discord doesn't automatically. Does Discord automatically calculate stuff like a calculator or not? I guess not.
No, I grabbed my own calculator.
Okay, but officially, uh, ship funds, 2,500 credits added. Then Wilson has 55,000. Omo has 22,000, and so on. So everybody should calculate their share. Now, RUR, that's an NPC, so I'll
Yep.
calculate. It's
Yeah,
obviously
don't mind.
only 2 tons, 7,000 credits. So him, he asks questions about that because to him, it's physical objects. The physical objects have been moved. They have not changed. And he asks all kinds of puzzled questions. Why is this now worth more? Is it business? This concept of business?
Exactly.
Exactly that.
Business.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a head
Ronnie will
scratcher for him.
explain them into him in detail later.
Yeah, it's the
And
same
we
thing
want to
though.
do business with you.
That's when I say to him, it's just supply and demand.
But he calculates, he says, it does not compute. It is the same thing. Its volume is the same. Its mass is the same. Its chemical composition and properties are the same. Why
Relax
is it
there.
suddenly worth more?
I will explain it to him later on when there's some time. Maybe next time in Jump, I'll go over, you know, deals and trading.
Okay.
Why are
Okay.
some cards worth more than other cards?
Okay, now can I trust
yeah,
each
it's a,
player to just calculate 5,500 a ton and add
Yeah,
that
I've
to
done that.
their thing? And Jerry might have to do that for Tomo's sheet in the whatever tab it is for.
What is
Okay,
55? What?
5,500 credits a
5,500 a
ton.
Oh,
ton.
must be paid
Yeah,
Oh,
it
I
as
made
well. It was a month ago.
22,000. I made 22. Brogan made 22,000. 4 tons.
right. Brogan made
5,500 a
22,000.
ton.
Astria
And
made
almost same
16,500
thing.
okay.
tons.
Toma made 22,000. So we add
Okay.
22,000 to our character sheets. I'll add that to Tomo's, and I will add that to mine.
What, everyone or just though you two guys?
No, it's
You-
5,500 a ton. However many tons you have times
Oh.
5,500.
So you
Okay.
got 3 tons,
Okay.
Jen.
Got it.
So that would be
16,500.
16,000. Yeah, 16,500.
Yeah.
add that to your thing, and it's probably a great increase over what you
Where's
have
our money?
paid.
It would be under inventory, right? Hey, wait a minute.
Yep.
Inventory, exactly.
Where's our
So look
next
in the
destination
inventory.
anyway, Captain?
Don't
Oh,
know. She didn't send one to us.
Just curious
That
because
is strange.
if we want to pick up some cargo here, we need an idea of where we're
Yeah.
going and what they want.
There was no other information in Brianna's pre-recorded message. Now there's no office. I don't think no. There's no office of Argosy Dawn shipping on Technica. I think you may have free reign. But there were other messages that are filtering in. If you've landed in a starport, you might get some, long range email transmissions that take weeks to get here. I'm going to determine in a moment what you get. I wanted to try to deal with the um, other thing. Let me just see here. Sorry. Um,
All right. Looks like
sorry.
I had 10 tons of that.
Yeah, you did good.
Yeah, you and me had 10
Yeah.
tons, so we got 55,000.
Yeah.
Nice.
You all spent your money a long time ago, and then now you get money with a certain profit. Remember that. Let me try to go back in the.
I
I'm
added
just for
mine to
fun.
Tomo, so he's good. I'll let Brian know.
uh, Just for fun, you went up to raw materials. Uh, oh, you made a deal. You bought the common raw materials at 85% of base price, which was 42.50, and now
Yeah,
you
that's what
sold it
it
at
said.
5,500 a ton. So it's a certain profit margin, whatever it is. So 85% became 110%. That was the history of it. Your profit factor is like that.
Okay.
If you divide 110 by 85, you get a certain percentage, whatever it is. So overall, works out to an odd number, but your profit was
I
29%
think it's
profit, 29.4% profit,
about 30% profit.
almost 30%. Yeah. So that's very good. You make cash on that, although you have to swallow, being depleted in money for a while. So the individual characters each make out like that, a couple of thousand profit each, I suppose. And the other cargo is more special. It's the so-called luxury goods. You have the crates for it. Crates are nice and sealed. You pretty much understand that you are part of the so-called quote art trade. 5 tons of art masquerading as luxury goods. I'm going to say that all you were given as information is that when you land on Technica, you have to dial a certain COM number. So who is the face or the public relations is going to make the call?
So probably be the captain.
Yeah, I'll make the call.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me make a note
Yeah.
here. I gotta. Sorry, I gotta make a note about common raw materials. behind in my note taking. But okay, now luxury goods, the so-called art.
Just a question, Pierre. If that
Yes.
luxury goods was found on our ship, what would that imply for the crew?
If the luxury goods were found by who?
The authorities and found to be exactly what they are.
Then we gotta call one of these people on the list
Yeah.
Yeah.
to get a
Some
photo of
authorities
it.
might some authorities might not understand what it is. You have not opened the crates. You haven't had a
Oh
look
no,
at it.
no, not
This
what I
guy
mean.
called this guy called Richard, NPC Richard. He referred to it as what seemed to be very mundane looking bits of wood. So
Yeah.
when Virgil was talking to Richard, the NPC, over on Flostono, the expatriate vacation, looked like a retired guy, used to be in the intelligence services or something. He just referred to it as nondescript bits of wood. But you haven't physically seen any of the art yet, and you don't want to break confidentiality by breaking the seal of the cargo, as far as I can, the cargo crates, as far as I can tell. Um, but you, if the authorities got hold of these crates, most of them wouldn't be able to make out what it is. If there was intelligence services or people in the know, you might be in deep trouble on the Verdulan side. The result is uncertain if you're on the frontier side. Verdulans are apparently trying to keep all this under wraps, but the millionaires have sort of defeated the purpose. And so who makes the call to that COM number? It's one of these long 12, 13-digit COM numbers.
I'm making the call.
Okay. So a bit of role playing here, trying to think about it. Now the call comes in. You hear sort of what sounds like, I don't know, industrial grinding gear sounds or something in the background, and just a male voice going, "Hello."
Hello. This is Captain Wilson Durrott of the Argosy Dawn. We have your shipping of luxury goods here, and we're wondering where you want them dropped off.
Luxury goods. How many tons?
I
5
believe we
tons.
have, 5 tons.
You might want to pick them up.
All right, very well. Let me see. That's out of Flostono.
Yes, that's out of Flostono.
Aha.
In fact,
Okay.
Across the, the
I would thought he
Vidula.
would pick them up since we're not the
Uh-uh.
ones in the know of local transport of
Yeah.
goods and whatnot.
The dealer there was Sorosho Cardozo, wasn't it? Why is this
I
four
believe
weeks
that was
late?
the man's name, yes.
Why is it 4 weeks late? What's going on here?
Issues with the jump drive.
We ran into some trouble with the apparatus.
Sorry, what's that sound? Somebody
Oh, it's just my alarm for
answering
something.
machine. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
It's ending
Okay.
transmission.
Yeah.
I'm not hanging up quite yet. Hopefully, they didn't hang
No,
up
no, no.
on
Okay,
me.
okay. Okay,
It's
so
fine.
the guy at the other end says, "Okay, fine. So you had some kind of trouble. What about the what does he use? What about you have any heat? Any cops?
None.
We lost
The
them.
lady, Ms. Anderson, thought you might have trouble with the law.
I got around it. No more heat on us. Nothing was compromised.
Okay, and what's your line? You say you had jump trouble or some delay. What was
I'm
your
staying as vague as possible.
okay?
Like we
Keeping
had
it
some
vague,
trouble.
huh?
I had to move around it.
Yeah.
I'll speak some techno babble. So over the same channel to the captain. Oh, no, I'm mentioning some random techno babble about the jump drive, and then shut up about the issue.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
Fix the jump drive. I don't want that happening
okay.
again.
You can say that's a bit of an assist from Ved.
Oops.
Oh.
Um, Okay, I'm thinking that perhaps since you're kind of fronting the conversation, Justin, or Captain Derwatt is, let me look over your sheet, or more easily, I can look over the skill grid. Uh, I think it calls for a deception roll, which you're very skilled in. Try a deception
Oh
roll.
yeah.
I can assist him with that too.
Yeah. Um,
You want to
um,
roll an assist before I make the roll?
Yeah, I can
Yeah.
do that. I've got a good deception.
please. I'm not seeing anything in my. Oh, there it is. Descended. Okay. All right. So that Ved area, by probably doing a
That's my
steady stream of technobabble in the background, lots of Geordie LaForge sort of stuff. You're probably you sort of create a background that there's all kinds of problems with the ship that are still being settled. You came in wounded or something like that. Fine. So you make a very good show of it. That's a +1 if Justin wants to make a roll for Captain Derwatt. Exception. +1.
I'll take a +1. Hopefully I don't need it. No, it looks like I needed it.
Okay, you included the +1 modifier. Great.
Yep.
Okay, very, very good. Okay, so the guy at the end is convinced and he says, all right, very good. I'm going to be sending a messenger with the agreed upon payment. I'm trying to remember what the payment was, which Cardozo arranged.
I think it was 10,000 per ton, kind of like the
10,000.
Servats.
Yeah,
Or
10,000
yeah.
per ton per parsec, I think, and you have 2
Oh.
parsecs. You did a bit of a roundabout, but it is 2 parsecs between Flostono and Technica. So 5
100,000.
tons. What's that?
It's 100,000. 5 times 10,
Yeah,
50 times 2 for the 2 parsecs.
that's right. That's right.
Jesus.
Okay, so this counts as freight fee. Um, so yeah, unless I wrote something else, it was 10,000 credits per ton per parsec equals 100,000 credits. That is freight. 5,000 of that is crew bonus. 95,000 can go into the ship
How many
funds.
do we have?
5,000, but it's
One,
divided
two.
8 ways, and I'm calculating
Can
what
we
that
just
is.
round that up to um
There's no
a
rounding.
thousand each?
No, no.
I'm saying that because I didn't pay anybody for the ship profits of the
You're
of
actually very close to a payday, by the way. I'm going to probably handle that next. You
yeah,
you jump from
raw
day
material.
112 to day 119. You had a big scare in the asteroid field, but let me handle one thing at a time here. 95,000 credits to ship funds. Then the 5% bonus to the crew is 625 credits crew bonus to each crew member. That's what you get when
Yeah,
you
that's
divide
not bad.
5,000 by 8. There. So 95,000 to the ship, 625 credits to each crew member. Jerry, again, you can add it to Tomo's sheet as well. And I think with all
What's
this
the amount
hassle,
I'm adding? What am I adding? 625. Okay.
625. Yep.
Okay.
625, yeah, because it counts as freight. It's a freight
All right.
bonus,
I'll do
but
that.
the lion's share, of course, goes to Argosy Dawn Shipping. It's a lucrative trading business. In fact, for all you know, Brianna is this is freight, so you got the freight charge to it, but there's some kind of sales in the background going on as well. Actually, if Argosy Dawn is involved in the principal sales of these artifacts, they might be earning even more money. But as far as you know, you're just handling the freight finances. Um, and I'm going to say da 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 that you landed at night on Technica. You spent some time going from the asteroid field, one orbit to another. So I'm going to say it's day 20 payday, and it's also the corporate financial statement trimester, which is a strange ritual I'm going to have to sort of wing a little bit.
Payday. So we just add our salary for the month to the.
Add your salary and add the ship share thing if you have ship shares that are
Okay.
bringing in monthly profits, or yeah, so it's a month has gone by, or 30 days. So it is payday for everybody.
Okay, I'll do that for Tomo too.
And there's also something called the corporate financial statement trimester,
sorry.
which I'll get to in a moment. I'm going to take a very short break. You can
Okay.
discuss among yourselves now. Here's something to think about. Brianna has not given you any new orders. You might become literally free traders, and you can try to have a look at what trades you can do on the frontier side, or you can go to the Verdulan side. Um, that would take an analysis of
All right. I added my salary and Tomo's salary.
So we could just jump
We're all
back
caught up
to
on money.
Lastono and do the
maybe.
spelunking cave
That's one
dungeon.
thing. That's one possibility. Let me just take a break for 2 minutes.
I'm gonna go and grab a
What
drink.
is your whiz, man?
Yeah, me too.
What's up, Jen? You got your inventory done?
Yeah, finally.
Nice. Nice. I know what that's like.
Yeah. I have this thing on my character sheet that says ship shares 2. Does that do anything for anything?
Ship shares. I don't think that does anything unless you want to try to buy a ship. It's just something you have. You got to
Oh.
double check what's here, though. It's something in the book. You can put it towards ship ownership. But right now, if we wanted to pool together to get our own ship, it's sort of like, but when you're not using it, you just have it. I don't think you can sell it either.
All right.
But double check with Pierre. Buddy, how you guys doing?
Mm,
Hmm?
what?
How
What'd
are
you
you
say?
guys doing? How's California, Ronnie? Mantar.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty good. I had a bit of a rough month last month. I got the COVID for about a week and a half
Ooh.
there. Yeah,
Yeah.
still got some
I had it.
bronchitis
I
left,
had
but I'm over it.
it. Are you vaccinated and everything?
Oh yeah, I didn't get
Yes.
the boosters though, but I think that helped. But it was still pretty nasty. It's the
Yeah.
cracking variant or whatever.
I had it. I didn't know I had it. I thought I had a bad sinus infection. I'm vaccinated and boosted once, Pfizer, and yeah, I had it in June.
Yeah, yeah,
It sucked. Yeah, it did suck.
oh yeah,
Everybody was scared of me, and I had to stay in the bedroom, and it was bad.
yeah.
I had
It was
COVID,
pretty nasty. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
I had COVID last year, and I was crook as a dog for the
Mhm.
first 3 days, and then it was like, yeah, but it took me months.
Okay,
Took
I'm
me months.
back. You might want to be careful of what you share personally because I think we were still recording. Is
Yep.
everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Yeah, it's all right.
There's
Okay,
nothing untoward.
okay.
Yeah, but it took me months to recover afterwards. I just kicked the living.
Yeah, it lingers. It can linger. Some people, it's real bad. It messes them up for years to permanent. Depends on what it is or how their bodies are pre-existing stuff. Most people, it's just like a cold and it's over. I don't know.
Yeah, mine was like yeah, when it initially rocked out, when it exploded out onto the world. I mean, around the world. I was in the 80 to the 90-year-old category.
Yeah.
So if I
Well, we're
could,
all alive in here, so
Mm-hmm.
that's what matters.
Okay, yeah. If I'm in poor health, I would have been in the 120-year-old category. So first priority, front of the line. But anyway, no, just joking, just kidding. Okay, back to the game.
Yeah.
Okay, this all went fairly well. A lot of routine training, but you finally got that big, huge cargo through. Um, for the special art cargo, which on paper is written up as luxury goods, um, a courier does come by with a credit stick, and you know how credit sticks work. They have blockchains in them, which are encrypted and guaranteed. The public key shows that it really is whatever it is, 100,000 credits in it. And so you put 95,000 in ship funds and 625,000, sorry, 625 credits distributed to each crew. Um, it's day 120 payday, and I trust you to add your monthly salary and any ship shares to your pay as well. And
What do the
if
chip
there,
shares mean? Jen was asking about that.
oh, sorry, let me
Uh,
see. If I look at Astria's sheet in particular in the in the inventory section,
yeah.
um, because you have two ship shares, that earns you 2,000 a month on top of your salary, regular salary of 8,000 a month. So you add
Oh,
8,000 plus
I
2,000,
didn't. Oh, okay, I didn't add
10,000.
that to my other one. Okay, I'll add
So
that then.
you had the monthly salary on day 30, day 60, day 90,
Uh-huh.
and day 120. We are a third of the way through the year. Did
Okay,
you
good.
forget to add your ship shares in the previous
Yeah,
period?
I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was like
Yeah,
something, that came with something else later. So,
yeah. You're
okay.
basically getting profits from the economic activity of other ships. It's not
Ah,
necessarily
cool.
Argosy Dawn ships, but
Jerry.
it's
Hey, no. Hey, no, I'm sorry. I apologize, Jen. I apologize. It's just a joke.
Just
I'm
don't
not one.
listen to
I'm
him.
not. I can apologize.
yeah. Now you did very well in the maneuvering because if you had taken ship damage, you would have had to pay for ship repairs just before
Okay.
you had to account a financial statement and do a trimester financial statement report. So it would have
That,
taken off profits from the ledger. But if we figure out the ship funds, 82,000, well, okay, 100 is taken off because of berthing fees for the week, or less. If you are on a if you're on a landing pad, if you're on a docking bay for a week or part of a week, you pay 100 credits. That's fairly cheap, unless space is at a premium or something. Um, and so you have to subtract that from ship funds. But the regular common raw materials earned 82,500 for the ship. The special cargo earned 95,000 for the ship. Um, Justin, have you added that into the Steppenwolf sheet yet?
Yep, I added all that and
You
I
did?
subtracted the 100.
Okay. Okay, so your report, if it's now exactly day 120, is you're going to transmit a standard email. I'm going to have to maybe elaborate on the annual report, but basically, you may have to wait a few weeks for this amount. Um, I'm going to call it a trimester corporate financial statement. You have to buy fuel. I think you have to buy fuel. Well, you're buying water basically. No, you get water for free. So fuel is not a cost here. You get the water
Yeah.
for free. You refine the fuel, so you can refuel your ship within a day. So that's not going to that's not going to come off of your total. The net that you have in ship funds right now is 825,870 credits. So what happens is that this amount is put into the ledger. It is reported and sent out, but in a few weeks, you're probably going to get a message from Brianna about what she thinks about it. It may go easier. Argosy Dawn shipping may go easier on first timers, but you'll get a sort of financial accounting about how well you did. And you should add some details about what your itinerary was, a complete list of trades, including the illicit stuff, the stuff. It's all encrypted. You send an encrypted email across the airwaves. You have at least what is it? You have Jump 6 diplomatic channels, and it can get to um, it can get to Fentara easily. So Jump 6, great. It might take an overall 2 weeks for Brianna to get a message back to you, though. How far away is Technica from Fentara? A good question. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay. 8 parsecs. So it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and still another jump to get to 8. So, well, the closest jump is Bellerophon. Maybe even through, yeah, you can route it through Dracovenco. But it's still 2 weeks to get a message to Brianna, 2 weeks to get a message back, even at jump 6. But okay, she's going to find out in a month. She'll tell you what she thinks about it. So you give as complete a report as you can. So I'm going to say um, day 120 is payday. Now, I'm sorry, am I missing something in the Roll20 chat? Do people have any questions or requests?
Oh, Richard was just inquiring what ship funds are. And
It's a reserve of 100,000 credits meant for emergencies and repair costs and things like that. You're supposed to keep that amount stable, and anything above is profits, which might be ended up. Now, let me see. Um, Actually, in about a month, I think you're going to see a subtraction of ship funds because Argosy Dawn Shipping is going to want to transfer it to their bank account. So, but there's a bit of a lag depending on how close you are to one of the head offices of Argosy Dawn. There's an office on Fentara. There's an office on New Plara. There's offices way off in the Verdulan sector. The closest one is still Fentara. So it may take a while, but they're gonna skim off your ship profits, but you'll still have a lot of operating capital to make trades with. Um, and Richard is asking if there's any interest in modifying ship and how to fund that. I think that's a big decision. You don't actually totally own the ship. It's the corporation's ship. It's Argosy Dawn Shipping's ship. Um, if you wanted to modify the ship, uh, it's going to be a huge outlay in mega credits. So it's not impossible, but the corporation has to agree to it. And you have just been 4 months. In terms of staffing and employment, you're still starting out. I hope that answers your question, Richard, in chat. Yeah, the expenses are huge for modifications if I go by the book. Does anybody have any other questions? You should speak up in voice. Anybody?
Nope.
No.
Maneuver drive you might want to bump
Mm.
up first.
That's a lot of money. I don't think we have that much money.
I was asking, and if there was
Yeah.
any interest. I assume there was
So you're not happy
no
with
interest.
maneuver drive being one gravity, right?
You'd
Yeah.
always at least have two. I mean, you're not
Yeah.
a marine.
Yeah.
What is our
What
current
would be
jump?
the most juicy or pressing modification you'd like on your ship? Keep in mind it needs the consent of the corporation.
What would give us the most benefit if we were to upgrade it?
Armor.
Well, trade-wise, I think the corporation might be most interested in increasing the range of a jump drive, but that's
That's what
um,
I consider is for the
yeah,
jump driver's trade capability.
it's a little tricky because then you have to use another 10% block of fuel, 10% of your
Yeah.
total tonnage, and
Yeah.
you have to make modifications and actually pay for a new jump drive, and the software must be modified as well. Um,
Well, my
that's
guess
the
would be
dream.
what goods we could trade, what benefits would we gain in doing it? I don't know exactly.
Dream of every trader would be to go faster, or next it would be to increase the tonnage by increasing the amount of ship space that's enclosed in lanthanum plates, or whatever, and creating a new improved jump field. Weight is no problem. You can carry the heaviest gold or metal bars if you want all the live long day, but your volume is limited by what's enclosed in the jump field. So I would imagine, I'm just guessing here, but corporations would be interested in increasing the rate of jump and increasing the tonnage carried. Then you got increases in the necessary fuel you need and the software change.
Well,
Just a
possibly
thought.
you got to consider how much heavier you weight make it the maneuver drives, because that's you're adding mass, and when you're in system, that still needs to be maneuvered.
Yeah, mass doesn't matter because you got an anti-gravity drive that will nullify the gravity on your ship. Doesn't matter how much mass you're carrying, but
Okay.
your limited volume of space. Your volume is always constrained by the ship walls. Sorry, just a moment here. Maneuver drive. Okay, so um, now I
It's
think
a
one or
per-
two interesting. I was going to say one or two interesting things are going to happen here. Sorry, any other thoughts or requests?
Ooh,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Um, all right, we're doing fairly good for time. Now, um, I don't really know what the rotation rate is on Technica. It could be like a typical 20, 25, 28-hour day. Seems fairly Earth-like, so a day and night sort of goes by pretty much like on Earth, except it's a small planet and it's hot and humid is the weather here. You're in some nice, pleasant dome areas. As I said, a courier came by with uh, the memory key to pay you 100,000 credits, and there were some workers who came to actually take the 5 tons of cargo crates off your hands. So the mission is successful there. Um, one or two things are going to happen. Now, this is a very high-tech, modern-looking city with modern-type entertainments, so R&R is a possibility. Um, Now, RUR67 talks to you, and um, he says uh, he says he sort of has an eerie feeling that comes over him. Let me see. Oh yeah, okay. You see the RUR artwork? Let me see.
Yeah,
Uh, he is
Rue
well.
67.
Yeah, RUR67 tells you. I'm getting some very strange sensations. There are thousands and thousands of transmissions uh, of robots like me, but they're all saying nothing. It's very eerie. Never felt this before. Uh, they're talking in the old language, which is the unmodified language of
Yeah, this is
what you'd
dangerous.
call them non-sentient robots. and they're sending orders, and they're sending orders, and others are obeying the orders. That's all they're talking about. It's like they're brainless.
You realize if we let RUR loose, you guys, we could start a civil war on this planet? We can't do that. We got to keep RUR low. Somehow we got to explain to them that they're not sentient robots like you. They lack your ability, and we can't
I'm
change it. But I'm
I'm
not
worried
going to
somebody
do
may
that.
try to grab him.
Who is specifically talking to RUR 67?
I'm
I'm not.
incredibly paranoid about what's
This is
around
scary
protecting him.
shit. He could start a frickin' civil war,
Don't
man.
they use machines on his planet?
Yeah, but his robots are
Yeah, but
sentient. They're an intelligent robot
yeah,
species.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
somehow taken the AI sentient level. Where these robots are AI, but they're not sentient level. They're just command order takers.
Hmm.
Where he picks up that they're like him, but he's not picking up that they're the sentience. That's what he's talking about. And that's
Well,
bothering
I
him.
understand that a cat is like me and it's biological, but it's got. No, it's not
Yeah.
as smart as me. And
It's
there are
sort
the
of
much
like what
smarter
a
machines.
it's sort of like what an Aslan would think about or a Terran house cat or something like that, or a robot, sentient robot might think of a non-sentient robot. In electronics,
I have electron.
is there a
yeah.
robotics skill? Remote is kind of like a robotics skill because you're commanding drones and things,
Yep, I
and a
have
robot
remote op.
is an evolved drone.
I have remote
Mm,
ops.
yeah,
Yeah.
computers.
Looking
I,
at the skill grid, I'm wondering who might be best equipped to be a robot psychologist.
I've
I'm
outclassed
out.
one, and that's it.
Again, without reading the robot handbook, an interesting situation is coming up because it's like a human hearing voices. He's hearing all sorts of voices of no import and orders. He's ignoring the orders because they're not directed to him at all. Even if they were, he would disobey them as he's sentient. He's self-determining, more or less. He has loyalty to Paternoster and his people back on Fredeo. Um, but here's what's going on. He's relating to all these things. You do remember that there were maintenance robots and things back on Fredeo did not end up sharing in the sentience because they were not sophisticated enough. They didn't have the right hardware. So he's aware of what a non-sentient robot is, and he even kind of remembers when he was non-sentient and he was on the assembly line, taking orders and hammering the bits of iron. So he does remember his old life like that and the old language, but now he has a sentient life and a new kind of language. But he says all the robots he's picking up are the old type, and he doesn't really know what to think about it. Who wants to talk to him about unusual role playing? Actually, Astria might be set up because she's got whatever the closest thing to science skill here,
Hmm.
or science intuition.
But
She's got science 0 with a +2 bonus from intelligence, I believe.
I have a science
Uh,
one, so I can do assist for her if she wants them.
I
yeah,
can do an.
okay.
I
am
have.
I doing? Am I supposed to do an analysis or something?
Well, I
Um,
don't know whoever deals with RUR 67. Who was it who installed those taste buds on RUR? You kind of
yeah,
changed RUR psychology a little bit with the new hardware.
exactly. Who messed with
Who did that?
RUR?
I know
Is
that
that
Astria
That
any
would
Bear did it,
probably
but
be me.
who installed it? Did
what?
Tomo install it? He's the chef. Did
You?
Tomo install it?
I had
Ah,
sensor
the
skills and I
chef
wanted to mess with
with
the
this.
robot, so I installed it.
Right.
You're screwing
Yeah.
around with the robot.
Hey, as long
Yeah.
as RUR gave permission, it's okay.
Well, that's
Yeah, but
okay.
RUR does RUR understand the permission that it was giving?
Well, it
I
might do
don't think
now.
Tomo's involved in sensors so much, so he's just got the base skill for all of electronics, electronics
Hmm.
0.
So what has
But
he actually tried to eat?
try to eat. He doesn't really want to eat anything. He wants to taste things.
Yeah, that's what I
Uh,
mean.
Learn to
Taste
be a
for it.
chef. You may end up getting a pseudo steward skill or a pseudo chef skill, which is just like Tomo's specialty.
I wonder if he
Uh,
likes meat.
yeah, Tomo has an actual chef profession. But let's see. I'd be interested if Astria makes a science roll, which is still science 0, and
would remote ops help?
Okay.
possibly, let me see, either a science or an electronics remote roll would be good. And
I have a
Virgil
1.
has electronic remotes as
Okay.
well.
I have science
Well,
1 and
I just have a
electronic.
science. I don't have like a remote control. Now, where do you get the now when you say things like oh, they have an intelligence, so they get a modifier, wouldn't it already be attached to your like
Yeah,
character
it's
sheet?
already included
Oh,
in the roll.
okay, so I don't have to worry
So
about it, right?
because it's a characteristic bonus or DM, it's shown under the DM column automatically. So if you roll science, you don't have any specialty in science, but if you click the regular science button, you get
Hmm.
level 0 skill and a level 2 DM, so that's +2 total on the
Okay.
far right edge. That may tell me something.
Hmm.
Uh, not successful. So you're listening to what RUR67 is. You might be able to run some diagnostics and probes and things like that, but as far as you're concerned, you're sort of going into unknown territory.
Yeah.
People who have a sensors ability might be able to help. So I'd like to invite some people to do some sensors roll if they can.
Yes. He's
Or
like, what are you talking about?
I have both remote ops and I have remote ops, sensors, computers, and
Oh,
electric.
sorry. Yeah, sorry. I'm sorry. Not sensors, but it's electronic remote ops, which I think
Mm,
applies the most.
I have science 1 and electronics 1.
I've got
Where do you
remote
get
one.
science 1? Oh, because yeah, you do. Okay, it's well,
And
science
electronics 1.
+1.
And
Okay,
electronics 1.
understood. So try whatever's higher.
Science.
Remote remote ops, and I got an 8.
Okay, good. Okay, so I think with remote ops, drones, you'd sort of treat it as a physical problem. If they're interfering signals, you can give
Nope.
RUR67 a way to shield all these
I rolled a 9.
signals. A 9 with sensors. Okay, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
but yeah, I made a mistake, Jerry. Sensors is not what applies. It would be
Okay, then
electronics
skip my
remote.
roll. Skip my roll.
yes,
That's okay.
Okay,
Jerry.
okay then.
There
That's
we go.
okay.
I was
That's okay.
trying to be helpful. So
God dang it.
that be
That's
helpful.
okay. But yeah, so what I'm saying is that well, Astria doesn't succeed so much because it's kind of
No,
unknown territory,
exactly.
um, it is let me see, it is who is electronics remote. It is Virgil who sort of treats it as a physical problem. If all these Wi-Fi type signals from the thousands of robots here are troubling RUR67, you just block out those particular Wi-Fi signals. So he's going to create a shield, which for the duration of his stay on this planet is just going to block out all those other robots. So as far as he can tell, he's the only robot of his kind on the planet, unless he physically sees and talks to one. So that kind of reassures RUR67. He says, well, we're just going to give you this physical device to block it out. Or it turns out it might be as easy as just ordering him to filter out all those mundane Wi Fi signals from unsentient robots. So you figure out that if you just order him to do it, he can filter out those radio signals. It's like a radio scanner that can filter out unwanted frequencies. So you figure out to do that, and it's not a hard thing to do, and your bare success roll will manage to do it. So RUR
Mm.
was momentarily troubled. So he got, let's say, he got non-sentient, unauthorized Wi-Fi from thousands of sources. And you might have seen that scene in the movie Serenity where, what is it?
Mhm.
River is talking about all those skeletons and dead people that she still psychically senses on the planet Miranda.
Mm-hmm.
Says there's like millions of
Mm.
people and all saying nothing, and they're all in my head. Oh no! Oh no!
But are you
Something
ours
like
going
that.
through with robots?
Yeah.
RUR sort of feels the same way about these robots, but basically you can blot them out. You don't even need to give them a physical shield. So you don't even need anything like a psionic shield or anything. So RUR is ordered to ignore the Wi-Fi signals, so he does. So I think he's much more stable now and normal.
Yep. Just a question. By him being around here and the robots, would they detect him? Would they
Uh,
have detected him the other way if he's emitting stuff as well?
Good point. Yeah, if you order him to suppress any outgoing signals, he's suppressing incoming signals. You should order him to suppress outgoing signals as well.
Yes,
Uh,
because even though we have been here for I don't know how long,
yeah.
I don't know how
um,
long.
yeah, um, would any of the locals have detected him, and would that have been made that information being passed on to Rossum?
Good question because you don't know. For the time that he was here, he was picking up signals. He says he did not attempt to communicate anything of any import, and all they were sending was, this robot orders another robot to do that. The other robot obeys. Robots share orders, and they say the big boss wants us to move this concrete or whatever. So he's getting thousands and thousands of signals like that. He did not contribute any messages to this net. He
Then
didn't
he's
do anything.
Yeah,
fine.
As far
yeah,
as you know, the robots didn't detect him.
We'll just tell
yeah,
him just to please stay on the lowdown as well now,
Okay.
which you seem to be aware of anyway. But yes,
yeah. We're on
be
heightened.
smart to draw no attention whatsoever.
Mm.
Yeah, and I'm basically going to go to the captain. I think we should be on high security alert at the moment.
Mm.
Given the situation, explain what's happened.
But
And
nothing's
if
happened.
well, he's been hearing it, but we don't know whether they have because Rossum designed him. Whether there's something in there that he's not aware of that could be transmitting information to Rossum while
Oh
he.
yeah, you're lucky. I haven't read the robot book yet about kill switches and
Is there a
uh,
way we can put him to rest and
trojans.
put him to sleep without messing with his sentience? Like low birth him, but robot wise, like unplug him? I mean,
He
it
can
wouldn't
turn.
kill him, but it would just down him so he wouldn't be
He
interfering
could
with any of those things.
Unplug him.
he could have turned
Yeah.
off
Yeah,
for a
that
whole
doesn't
weekend
sound
jump,
very
but
good.
he would miss the
Yeah, it doesn't
opportunity to
sound very
ask
good at
questions.
all.
We'll unplug
Yeah,
you
You
first.
kill him,
How
you can
see
plug
you
him
how you
back
feel
in. He's
about
a
that?
robot.
Yeah, let's
Put
unplug
him
you
in.
Oh
first. I think
Yeah,
you're
boy.
worse than
yeah,
RUR.
yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good
Terrible.
I
idea.
mean,
It's
I'm
on.
not big on
Just
RUR, but unplugging doesn't sound very well.
Yeah,
uh,
not even opposed.
yeah. If
Really
RUR
looking.
says you're going back and forth here. The characters are RUR says, if I may say something. If I may say
Sure.
something.
by all means,
Uh,
please
Go
do.
ahead, RUR. Go, go.
my my mission and my loyalty to Matter Noster says I must try to collect as much information as I can. I want to passively receive the transmissions from this planet, their commercial networks, their entertainment nets. I want to learn as much as I can about human society. I would be negatively biased against being ordered to turn myself off for a week.
You're not.
You're
Are
Here,
you
probably
asking me
not a
to do
week,
that?
but
No,
totally
we're not
would
asking you to
understand.
do that. We're just babbling amongst ourselves.
How
That's what
we
long are
humans
you here
do.
for?
unplugging have decided that you should.
Humans just babble for no reason.
He asks how long you're on the planet for.
I don't know.
How
Oh,
long have we on the
No
planet for? I
idea.
don't even know.
What?
Well, I think
idea?
we've been on the planet for
Huh?
like a couple hours, but we haven't. We don't know how long we're staying.
Let's
Well, you're
say,
getting longer than that because you did all that cargo business. That would take
Oh
at least
yeah.
a day or so.
give
That's a
it at
lot of.
least 6 hours, making sure that all the workers hauled the cargo away. That's about at least an hour job,
Hmm.
Yeah.
6 tons. So 6 hours, you're 6 hours into Technica on day 120. But he asks how much longer you'll be here. He will follow your instructions about not Wi-Fiing the other robots. He wants to passively pick up the transmission nets of this planet and learn as much as he can. And unlike
Good.
talking to you, he can watch several channels of TV or holovision at high
No.
speed and learn as much as he can. But he'll probably learn very junky stuff like, the Price is Right and how to bid on the mountain climber game and
Oh,
all
yeah.
sorts of nonsense like that.
No,
Um,
do not turn on that screen.
Can we consider ourselves to be like in a free trader situation now as a ship and crew, since we've been offered no new cargo to deliver to X place?
Yeah. Your ship
Yep.
model is a far trader, but yes, you seem to have free reign at the moment until signals come in from Brianna on behalf of Argosidon Shipping. So far, you
So,
don't have any new orders. I think the very important and lucrative thing was to get that art cargo here, and you did it.
Yeah.
could we look at then what things we can buy cheap here, and then where would be a really good place to sell that stuff?
Yeah, okay. The planet has an abundance of manufactured goods above its base population because it's got all these robots working for them. You have gleaming cities, all skyscrapers. Some of them seem to be empty, like it's any human habited structures that are the big skyscrapers seem only partially full. The factories, though, are quite full of robots and things, but I'm not going to get ahead of myself. You haven't really disembarked yet to explore or to
Hmm.
see what to do next, but you're on the free side, you're on the frontier side. You don't have to deal with the apparatoi here. You can go to the trade center and pick up information and see what you can see. You can do anything more. It's completely open at the moment. It's kind of sandbox. I'm just mentioning that RUR had this perturbation. You told him to cut incoming and outgoing transmissions, and he cut it. So problem solved.
good.
Right.
You keep him in the ship, man. We can't. He could fuck some shit up.
You
Um,
You
you guys
order
could fuck some shit up too.
not
So
us. We're
best to keep
cool, man.
best to keep him in the ship.
We don't do
Best to
nothing
keep him
wrong.
in the ship.
Hey, hey,
Best,
hey! Who
it's
takes the
best
big
you
rocks?
stay in the
We're
ship,
shooting little
He
Brogan.
might
ones.
run off on
Hey,
some
hey,
kind of
hey!
nonsense that you
Who
guys
What do you
are
got
want to
trying
the
to.
say?
big
Keep the
rocks?
crazies in the
Mm,
cage.
Keep the
Yeah,
crazies in the cage. That
come on,
means
There you
dude.
you.
are.
ugh,
RUR
We
is
got
not
it
your
going
biggest
on.
problem. The
no,
We're not going to
exactly.
damage.
cause no trouble. We got it going on.
Oh, you think? You,
Right,
I
Ronnie?
think Jerry and
Right,
Tomo are your
Tomo?
biggest. Jerry and Tomo are your biggest party problem sources and do a
Tomo
lot
not
of damage on
he
shore
doesn't say
leave.
much.
No, Tomo's the most, I think.
Something about the damage to the female Bikini Beach population on Flostono. I think there's going to be something about that. Oh, you did go on that
Mm-hmm.
talk show. You got some mileage out of being on that morning talk show. Got some mileage for that, but RUR calms down. I want to get into more specifics. What specific instructions do you give RUR apart from putting incoming Wi-Fi and not broadcasting outgoing Wi-Fi? Do you ask him to do? Puzzled, uncertain. This is
Mm.
completely new
Hey,
territory, basically.
RUR, theoretically, could you send a command to these robots?
Oh, no.
Here we go.
No, no,
No, what?
no.
Just out of
I
curiosity.
I think you're jumping the gun here.
What happened to the cat? Just
RUR
curiosity.
RUR responds. If you're asking me theoretically, command would have to have a proper authorization code. In other words, a source and an authorization code that the that the obeyer robot would recognize. I'm not going to use terms like master and slave circuits and whatever, but the obeyer robot has to get an authorization code that's proper.
And you haven't heard these authorization codes.
I'm
You
not
couldn't
familiar with
just
the local
reuse
setup
them.
here. No, no.
No.
He's not familiar with the local setup.
Okay.
And this is representing like there must be hundreds of factories staffed by hundreds of thousands of robots here, exceeding the human population.
But if you had access to that code, then you could command other robots and tell them what
Probably.
to do.
Does someone want to hack this information? That'll be fun.
Uh, I could probably make an attempt if somebody wants me to.
I think that would be
Okay,
a
but
stupid idea.
yeah.
So let's just keep them here on.
Who are you hacking? Are you hacking a random factory to figure out how many doohickeys they're going to make in the next week? Are you hacking Rossum's R&D division? What is your target?
Ooh, I don't know.
This is all up in the air. We're spitballing here at the moment.
Yep.
But
Who are we
all
going
these are
after?
possibilities. That's the
Who do
beauty
you
of
want to
science.
make horrible enemies with?
Yeah, this sounds like. I understand the potential benefits, but it sounds rather risky to me.
Very
You're
risky.
assuming that their cybersecurity is lax.
You're
Bad
oh
idea. We always said bad idea.
you're up
Yep.
against a planet half of the population is robotics experts. Very good. See what kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah, but
electronic
if we can
sensors and electronics
command all
computer
the
skill they have.
population of the robots,
You're
which
getting
now
greedy,
outnumber
dude.
us
You
I
need
don't
to
want to
take
get
a
involved in
downer.
your megalomania.
I
Yeah,
think you need to take a downer, man. You
Yeah.
need to come
Yeah.
up
greed is
right,
one of the
Cappy.
sins, man. Greed is one of those
You're
things.
starting to
I'm a
get a little
captain of a ship. I
crazy.
want to be the
Oh my God, the
Oh,
captain of
want
the
ruler of the
world.
planet.
Oh my
You want to
God.
be a god? What are
Okay,
you?
I didn't say
if you're
God.
No,
starting to
you
get
didn't
visions
say
of
it.
grandeur,
Oh, what
we're
would I
gonna have
be
to
as a
put you in a
god?
cell. Oh,
get on him, Astria. Come on, give him the shit you give me,
You're
especially
gonna have to
now.
take him
well,
into
I can
your
get you a hypo spray that'll take you down a notch.
There you go.
Oh, yeah. Give him a stick.
What?
Stick him with the hypo spray.
Hey,
I'm your captain. Why are you doing this to me?
have you got a taser?
It doesn't matter where you're the captain. If you're
Talking about
going
starting a
crazy,
world war, dude.
we're gonna have to take you down,
One
man.
that we could win.
Oh my God,
No,
could?
no, I don't
Could?
think so.
He's
I don't think
dangerous.
so.
Oh
I
no.
don't think we're going to win this one. I think they're smarter than us, and we're going to do something and set some shit off, and then we're going to get stompled over.
Yep.
Yeah. Seems like
That's
a bad
what I
risk to
think
me.
is going to happen.
Yeah.
I think
That's
we
a
need to
pretty bad
lay
risk.
low, stay small, do our little business, and get out of here. That's what your pilot says. Well, you were putting your head between your knees and you couldn't give us leadership, and I was dodging the rocks, saving our ass. Now you want to take over a culture? Come on, Cappy. Where's your leadership
I
at?
was just thinking of options. We
No,
gotta
that
have
is
good
not an
ambition
option.
to
That
Yeah,
is
I can
not
tell you
an
what.
Good
option.
grow
ambition,
That
but
is
leadership.
not ambition.
That's
That
a
is
bad
crazy.
option. A very
It's
bad one.
crazy.
need a better plan, and let's just go for it.
All right, it's a bad option. We won't do it.
Good,
But I'm
excellent. We all agree it's a bad option.
Yeah, I used to play I ran a lot of Cyberpunk 2020, so I'm imagining a planet half full of robotics and
Oh
computer
my God.
experts, and some of them have set up
Uh-huh.
research projects of cyborg cyber hackers whose
You imagine
brains
what
have
their
been jacked
military
up
is
at
like if we piss
speed,
them off.
and they're floating in tanks of goop, and they're just waiting. They're waiting to enact intrusion countermeasures on your ass if you decide to hack their corporation.
Already.
Yeah,
They've thought about this.
yeah.
They've got
Like
a
I don't.
plan to deal with it. We'd be like a little terrorist group, and that
And,
the
and, and,
United
and
States
and with this
would
on the
get where
record, if
they
there's
were
any
and fucking
issues,
blew their head off.
they'll know
Yeah,
that there was only
SEAL
one
Team 6
person
would
that
come
was
get us.
interested.
They get us in a second. We have to leave
Oh.
RURO and just do our business.
Yeah.
I
Get our
want to
kids
see
in
how
our
high. I
cargo and
want to
move
see,
on.
please. Try to hack this planet. I want to see how high the GM dice roll can go. I
Oh
really do.
no. Oh no. Oh my god. Well,
Yeah,
we
We
could,
should
you
yeah,
know
just
what
hack.
test
happened to
their
Justin State when
system.
we
There's
tried to steal
nothing
that
wrong
ship?
with
Didn't it take
testing
us
a
long?
system.
That
Yeah,
would be equally.
this would be a good way to end your campaign because we will fuck
You're
killed.
forcing me to be
Yeah, I am
impolite.
not
Well,
ready to hack the planet.
No.
What?
With
we
No.
don't
stealth
Oh,
want.
come
V2.
on. What? What do you mean
We
we
don't
all
want
want
that.
to?
We don't want that abortive campaign like Justin's campaign Mark One. That was really
No,
bad.
we don't want to
And
track this whole
we went
campaign.
evil.
Let's
Yeah.
play our characters right,
So
man. I don't want to
don't
go
you
down that road.
What?
don't you guys go evil.
Different
That's all
game,
I'm going to
Jen.
say about it.
Who's
Different
going
game.
evil except the captain? And don't worry, I got something stashed.
You gonna stick them with something?
Yeah. Oh,
Better yet, she's
Well,
got a taser.
what
he's gonna
injection
watch.
can you what injection can you put
No.
into Brogan to keep him from having bad ideas? He's not even the main hacker
What?
yet.
Not bad ideas. I don't know. He's gotta watch his coffee when he drinks it.
Yeah, you
Oh
need
boy.
a bad idea COVID vaccine. That's what you need to suppress bad ideas.
Either or spike Brigand's coffee with laxative so he spends all
He
the
needs
time
Uh,
something to
doing
calm him down.
that's a 50-step science project with science rolls all through. You spend a certain hour, make a roll, spend another 10 hours researching, make another roll. It's 50 steps. Anyway, we're
or
having
put
fun here. Let me see. So, situation with RER 67 is under control. I'm trying to think of what else. You can do mundane trade. You can figure out what the nearby star systems are, then jump to and try to figure that out. But to give you the information in planets you haven't visited yet, ooh, that's tricky. Let me see.
yeah
Next to Technica. Oh, there's that big fat gap. It's called the Mu Gap to trailing.
Mm-hmm.
There are no stars there. There's a couple of stars on the Verdulan side, a couple of stars, Vernon and Plectra and Clavius on the Frontier side. That's it. Ah, interesting. If you are able to look into uh, the PDF of the whole sector, or no, there's a subsector atlas. Let me
Yeah,
see which subsector we're in
we
the
might be on the
folder
border.
called subsectors, EFG. Are we in F? Let's see. Not quite. Oh, yes, you are. You're in sector F. So if you subsector F, if you go to subsector F, you'll see the neighborhood of Technica. It'll have all the planetary stats, and from that you can try to figure out the trade codes, main world data. Yeah, I have some main world data, and I sort of have the trade codes, but they're written in the Traveler 5th edition dialect. Some of the trade codes may not apply in Ongu. So this is this is really old. This is years old. Technica is non-industrial, high tech, hot. EZ means twilight zone. I guess I forgot about that. It would have basically no rotation. It's facing its sun all the time. Is that right? Maybe I made a
um,
mistake. No, I'm gonna say Technica rotates.
Well, it looks like it does from the planet. You search the
Yeah,
map you got.
yeah. Because
does is there any of the um people on the art list here?
what about it? What about the art list?
The ones that can help us.
Well, you got high officials on the Verdulan side. You got high officials on the frontier side to be determined. Um, are
Yeah, that
you interested? Are you interested in contacting one of them? Maybe if you actually care to contact one of these officials, you can get more art freight jobs, but it's basically carrying freight at a rate comparable to making profit on cargo. At least they want to pay you. I think a standard rate would be 10,000 per parsec per ton. You want to try to solicit jobs like that, specifically moving art.
Moving art.
not
Moving art,
particularly.
alien
You
artifact.
Alien artifacts art is the code word for it.
Oh,
Planning
that's
on, I'm
interesting.
planning something else for him if he's
Kind of
here.
a
Well,
secret
that's
subculture. The Verdulan's authorities are apparently suppressing knowledge of alien artifacts, but the millionaires have gotten wind of it, apparently. That was the whole point of Brianna's message.
Oh yes, something's going to happen to her too.
Maybe. I think Brianna, on behalf of Argosy Dawn Shipping, has sort of created an umbrella of protection, friends in high places. And so she can conduct this trade. They let her haul the freight and garner a rather lucrative freight profit out of it. You don't know if Brianna is actually selling the art.
Oh no, something I've got plans for her.
I think.
Oh, now who sounds like the evil one?
I,
Yeah. Could we
Well,
all
it's probably a
put
little easier to
the
accomplish than taking over a
crazies back in
planet,
their
dude.
boxes and continue?
I'm sorry, Jerry was speaking, and what did Jerry
I said
say?
whatever he's planning against Brianna is probably better than the idea of trying to take over the planet.
Yeah.
Okay, and one at a time. What was it you, Richard, who was saying something? I didn't hear you.
Could people put their crazies back in their boxes and get back to center?
Yeah. Well, again, this is very open and sandboxy. You could try to take initiatives to have more hard jobs, or you could take initiatives to have less hard jobs. You could do the only other job on the table mentioned was what the Savrettes want you to do, which is
Mm-hmm.
a more of a wilderness D&D hex crawl sort of thing, perhaps with a dungeon maybe to be
Well,
determined.
my recommendation is we get some high tech cargo that we could sell somewhere and make money on.
Yeah, I
I
agree with
agree.
that.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
just get some cargo and get
Agree.
the hell out of here.
Let's,
We
Mhm.
already
what can
did
we
what
buy
we
the
needed to
cheapest?
do. Buy and sell and go.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
Okay, good, good. It's good that you phrased that because that motivates me to look at the in the back pages of the traveler handbook. You get a trade table. You get an idea of what um, technical cargo would fetch on these worlds. Oops, trade, trade, trade. Uh,
What's the jump on our ship too?
jump to.
Jump to
So
press one.
your impulse was correct in drawing a hexagon that I think there's a way to preserve a hexagon once you've drawn it with the ruler. Let me just see how to do it. Oh, sorry. Fortunately, I have a handout for everything, and this is covered in Mongoose rules. No, not Mongoose rules. Further up, keyboard shortcuts. And when you use the ruler, X will recall your last measurement line after it's been dismissed. So this is fun. What I do is I'll do this. Uh, draw a hexagon around Technica, like that. Now, once I
Mm-hmm.
let go of the mouse, it disappears, but X calls it back. It stays there until I draw something else. So that's your hexagon that you're working with. It intersects Clavius, Plectra, Vernon, asteroid belt at Kiru, Ostono you've been to,
Yep.
known planets Cleando and Jeruba. And then on the right side, there's the Mu Gap or Mu Brecho in Verdulan, which is a big hassle because it's more than 2 parsecs of nothing. So you can't cross it normally unless there was a fuel depot you don't know about, which is in one of those empty hexes. I mean, a planet could set up a fuel depot to cross the gap if they keep supplying an empty hex with fuel, and then the ships jump in and jump out. But those are the most bare-based space stations you ever saw. There's nothing to do in the empty hexes. Um, so that's your range. jump to from Technica. If you check subsector F, you'll get a bunch of uh, planet
Stats.
listings and stats for that. Sorry, it's not. What you got to do is you got to click what says F. If you click the handout called F Main World Data, that gives you the local stars near Technica. But you just figure out what the hex number is and look it up on the list. And this is Traveler 5 data, which is kind of similar, and there's a whole lot of extra stats you don't have to worry about. Type of star, but the planetary code is there. So Technica is A324533D on industrial, and turns out it's hot. Um, it's not rich, which is strange, but they'd be fantastically rich if they got free labor from the robots. Um, so I think if you look for low tech planets, Vernon, Clavius, look for planets which have lower tech, and probably that will uh, probably help you. Clavius is 9. Vernon is A, which is fairly high, but not as high as Technica. Plectra is a planet. What else is known about it?
9 tech.
9. Yeah. Hiru, asteroid belt, airless. They're only Tech 5. They might be a possibility, but if they were rich enough, you'd have to compare Kiru's stats to and figure out what their trade codes are. Ostono, you've been to. Cleando is a Verdulan world, Tech 8. Jeruba is a Verdulan world, and it is level 6. Jeruba is low tech. The Kiru
Quite
asteroids
a
is
high
seems to be
law level.
uh, Jeruba high law level. Yeah.
Yeah.
Civilizationally, it might be some sort of world with North Korean style dictator or something like that. Law level C. Holy cow! Government type on the Verdulan side is 8. All level is C. How did it get that way? Okay.
Let's not go to there.
Yeah, super high law levels are generally automatically amber zones for merchants because merchants just won't go there. Sorry, we're
Vernon's also law level C. Kiro's law level 0.
as you know, the government types might be a little different on the Verdulan side. I had a handout in the background info about that. Government codes. Government Code 8 is a bureaucratic presidium on the Verdulan side.
Hmm. I mean, Plastono is like the nicest planet to go back to.
Absolutely, yeah.
But
Well, compare
yeah.
Technica's trade codes with Flostona's trade codes on a table and figure out what you want to trade. Sorry, this is a bit of a thinking. You got to put on your thinking caps for this. Let's say your target was to go back to Flostono, and once you've had Flostono, you go back lots if you have the privilege of having a ship and going there whenever you want. Um, Flostono, okay, planet maps. I'm sorry, brain slowing down a bit. Let's see.
Me and Tomo like Blastono, man. We could always go back there and hang out.
So you're pushing for Flostono. Okay, Flostono's
I'm
trade
just saying,
codes is
that's just me. That's what I'm saying. But I
Flostono's
mean,
asset. Yeah, their trade code is rich. Technica's trade codes are high tech and non-industrial. So rich on one side, high tech and non-industrial on the other. So if, for example, you had some sort of high tech level goods, such as let's see,
Do they do much manufacturing there?
Let's say you had advanced manufactured goods, which on one side would give you a sale bonus of +2. So Ostono will absorb some advanced manufacturing goods, advanced machine parts, not so much. In fact, let's see, high tech world, advanced electronics. Here's the odd thing: if you purchase advanced electronics on a high tech world, they don't seem to come cheap. The high tech factor is +3 and +1 for purchasing. I don't think that's good for you. Or no, actually, sorry, it is a benefit. You get a lower price, I think, on the roll. But on the other side, rich, let's see, sale. Okay, so that's natural. If you have advanced electronics or advanced machine parts, you get a bonus because you're buying it on the high-tech world cheap, and then when you sell it on a rich world, advanced electronics is particularly good. So that's one thing. If you want to do a run of advanced electronics from Technica to Flostono,
That would
that's
be
going
quite.
to benefit you. Um,
Oh wow, that
Advanced
sounds like it.
manufacturing goods, not so much. Yeah, look for purchase GMs for high-tech products, common electronics, advanced electronics,
That's where
advanced
the money
machine
is.
parts.
That's where the money is.
Mm.
Advanced manufactured
Well,
goods, not so much, but the robots are making them. I might add some extra factors just because Technica is a bit unusual. High-tech advanced weapons. Well, the weapons law level here is what is it, 3? Um, and
We can
Flostono
get
is a
some weapons.
paradise. Yeah, if you sell to a civil war world, that would create huge profits, but the dangers are huge trying to get to such a place. Um, Advanced vehicles. There's probably civil wars going on a very few planets, but of course the Federations try to cut down on that and suppress that stuff. Um, Advanced vehicles, cybernetics. Oh boy, you got to believe they have cybernetics. So if you want to pack a huge number of robots and buy them on the high-tech world of Technica and sell them on the world of Flostono, uh, you can make some profit depending on how many people are doing the same thing. Medical supplies. So anything that's high tech on the purchase DM column and rich on the other column can give particularly good profits, but it's totally free form. Let me roll on that utility, which is, Flostono to Technica, sorry, Technica to Flostono, and I'll tell you what sales are on offer. So if as captain you're checking what sales are available, let me try to figure that out real quick with the utility. Uh,
We do have familiarity with Flostono as well.
yeah, if it's a factor, and as I
Hmm.
said, Technica is kind of a special case. So let me. Okay, sorry. Let me. I have to type in the whole planetary stats for Technica and the whole planetary stats for Flostono. Easy peasy. Planets. Okay, so Technica A324533D. I think the population and tech level and all that, that's what most matters to the generator. Flostono, Paradise World, you've been there once, you itch to get there again, obviously, is B868873, 7 tech level. So the big spread in tech level is helpful, and also the fact that it's a very rich world. Resort activity and business is bringing in a lot of money. And the utility says, going from planet 1 to planet 2, generate. It's not working. What?
Oh,
What the
boy.
hell happened here? Okay, I apologize. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, maybe the dash, like the dash. Oh, I think this utility has decided to crash just when I'm trying to use it in the middle of a campaign live. Sorry about that, guys. It doesn't seem to be working right. But I can tell you that if you look at the Traveler rule book on the trade goods column, anything with a high tech modifier in the purchase GM column,
Wait,
purchase
don't you have
GM
to tell
column,
us what's available? What in the
yeah,
lots?
that's right. I'd probably have to generate something by hand. Let me see.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to say there's an abundance of things that I've mentioned: advanced electronics, advanced machine parts. Advanced manufactured goods is not so much of a spread. Advanced weapons, maybe that's a business you don't necessarily want to touch. That maybe for Virgil,
Even
Tomo,
machine parts
Ronnie.
and go low tech. Take it to a low tech world. That's got to be worth something.
Electronics would be good for fitting into a cargo bay. You get a heap of
Yeah,
electronics in there.
And
electronics
the,
too.
yeah, and the planet is known for cybernetics. So if you wanted to cram a ship with wall-to-wall stored robots and then sell them on Flostono, you can probably get a lot of money from that.
You could also maybe
Oh,
just
sorry.
get some cargo and get some freight too.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the price is very high. For cybernetics, it's
Yeah,
250,000 per ton. You're talking about several robots crammed into a ton's worth of volume.
but if we
Uh,
get like 1 or 2 tons of what's our bank account at? 1 or 2 tons of cybernetics, and then get some freight going to where we want to sell the cybernetics. So then we get paid out on the freight and make big profits on that 1 or 2 tons of cybernetics.
uh, if you want to ship freight from Picnica to Flostono, freight is always available, but it's going to be a fixed 1,600 per ton. Advanced electronics, 100,000 per ton. Advanced machine parts, 75,000 per ton. So you might only be able to buy a few tons of the advanced technical stuff, then sell it at a profit on Flostono. The rest of your cargo can be freight or whatever else you want to imagine. And food and raw materials from Flostono can go to Technica. I'm sorry, the trade generator utility is not working right now at the moment.
What
I
do
don't.
they do have luxury goods here?
Luxury goods.
Like high tech luxury goods, like I guess like Game Boys and stuff like that is an Earth equivalent.
Counts as advanced electronics, I would guess. Uncommon. Let's see, robots. Oh, robots are their own item, but they are 400,000 per ton. So if you
I
want to,
personally,
and you can probably pick them up cheaper than base price, then sell them on a high tech world. But the industrial factor to buy is just +1, and the high tech factor to sell is just +1. So it's not so much of a spread. I don't know why. I think I can probably fiddle with the factors a little bit. But you're presented with an abundance of the advanced things. Item, 21, 22, 23, 25, 26 is biochemical. Well, no, not biochemicals. That's more agricultural product. But advanced electronics, advanced machine parts, advanced manufactured goods, not so much. Advanced weapons is a risky trade. Advanced vehicles, robots, something called cybernetics. Some of these, I think you're talking about a lot of outlay per ton, though. You might only be able to buy 3 or at most 4 tons of something.
Yeah.
Um, looking through there, the profit seems to be best on, let's see, advanced machine parts. Sorry, advanced electronics at high tech +3 is where you can seem to pick up things most cheaply. Robots doesn't really give you so much of a discount on the price for some reason. I don't know why. They're known for robots here, so maybe I'll artificially lower the price for that. So you can fill your hold with one of these, but robots is 400,000 per ton. Advanced electronics is 100,000 per ton. Let me write some of these out. I think quantity doesn't matter because you won't be able to buy so many of them anyway. Let me put down in chat some of these prices.
I made a comment about the advanced electronics myself in chat, which
In the Roll20 chat,
yeah,
or yeah, okay. Yeah, you want to pool some money like you did for the common raw materials. You're sort of moving up in league. It's always a risk to put in your own personal funds for a trade, but it's not impossible. Uh, let's see, advanced electronics. Now these are the base prices. You may get them for cheaper. Uh, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write the purchase price DMs. So a DM is a benefit.
So we could sell it well on an asteroid. Advanced electronics.
Let's see. Advanced machine parts. Also has a benefit on the purchase price and is for see. Okay, advanced manufactured goods. Right, this is where the game bogs down. I apologize. If you want excitement and fast action, please turn to Critical Role. Let's see. Advanced weapons, don't consider it. Advanced vehicles.
Let's try advanced electronics. That looks like the thing we could have the biggest difference at.
That's a good prospect. Now, the sky is the limit for capacity, so I'm not going to roll for a limited tonnage. All right, here's vehicles are interesting because high tech is +2, Bitch World is +2. And
Yeah, that's
robots.
another possibility.
Number for robots seems a bit odd. I might make some sort of adjudication about it, but robots are 400,000 per ton. Be a bit out of your price range, but the uh, no. Oddly enough, no factors apply because there's no high tech bonus for buying robots and no rich bonus for selling them. Oh my God. They're known for robots here. Cybernetics, that's another possibility. So this is what it's looking like so far. Electronics sounds like a good middle of the road thing because you uh, high tech +3 upon arrival. Uh, the
Mm-hmm.
the advanced manufactured good +2 upon arrival. Advanced vehicles is high tech +2 buying and rich +2 selling. That's your somehow your best bet. Cybernetics, whatever it is high tech
Cybernetic.
+1 buying.
so vehicles are the best overall with +2 on either side.
Yeah. I'd probably put in some extra factors. Cybernetics is high tech +1 and rich +1. No, +2. Okay, like that. So I'm trying to interpret the rest of the trade tables like this very quickly. Illegal weapons is also high tech +2, but again, dangerous. Vehicles, high tech +1. Well, there's vehicles and then there's advanced vehicles. For the advanced vehicles. So advanced vehicles gives you that many factors. Advanced electronics. Advanced electronics is a good middle of the road thing and not expensive. Do you want to try for a cargo of advanced electronics?
What do the vehicles cost? And what
Vehicles
size?
cost 180,000 per ton.
Yeah, other than 100, it's almost double.
And I
Electronics.
may not have covered all the items of interest. Let me see.
Yeah, there's basic electronics too, which we can buy just we can fill ourselves up with.
Yeah. So do you want to try to pool money for electronics? Do you want to use you already have a very fat, lucrative, you have a lucrative amount of ship funds right now, but don't spend too
Yeah.
much because you have to do a trimester thing. And I think after a few weeks, Argosy Dawn Shipping is going to come calling and ask you to send a deposit over to them.
Yeah.
So let's spend it all now.
Really?
Give us 25% of
Are
what
we going
we've
to
got.
spend it all before we try to
Hey,
take over the
Company
planet or after?
It's just
No
one
one
way
wanted
ticket
to
to
take over
Flostono.
the planet.
If you want to really blow everything, you can use all of the Steppenwolf ship funds, all of its
Yep.
ship reserve. The company, well, let's call it ship funds, which is your reserve in case of emergencies and repair.
Mm-hmm.
100,000. Company profits 825,000. If you were really stuck and your ship had been half blasted by asteroids, I'm sure the corporation would bail you out, but it would, it's a situation to be avoided. Um, so you have company profits of 825,000. If you really spend all of the company profits and sink it into electronics, you can also put in whatever your personal funds and profits are. Then you get shares of the cargo. You could probably end up buying 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 tons of electronics and sell that, especially if your buying price is lower than average. It's high tech +3, so that means that the price here is going to be depressed for electronics, but for robots, not so much. I'm going to introduce a purchase factor, a purchase benefit of maybe +2 because they're known for making robots here.
Yeah, but robots are even crazier.
Yeah, so so I'm going to say no factors apply normally, but I'm going to kick in
+2. +2
just
to
the
buy.
M of +2. Yeah, that's just to make it normal.
All
And
right, I wanna buy some advanced electronics, and I
okay,
don't know how
that
much we're
sounds
gonna
good.
buy,
Okay.
but I want to figure out
Um,
a base
you can
price
figure out
first.
what the spot price is for advanced electronics currently. So the rule book is this is a high tech world +3, or the quantity doesn't matter. There's plenty to go around. Plenty of lots of all sizes to ship. You're going Technica to Flostona. High tech is +3. So the roll is 3d6 +2 -2 +3 because it's high tech. But you have to figure out what the sale DM. You have to subtract the biggest sale DM on the other side. So it's rich. Oh, why is the rich +2 interfering with the +3?
I didn't
Interesting.
think um this planet was rich. I didn't think
This planet isn't
Technic.
rich, but your destination. Oh, this planet. You're right. This planet isn't rich. So I was thinking of Flostono. So it's not a rich planet. It's not a non-industrial planet. Well, it is non-industrial on paper, but it is like hell industrial here. So I'm going to say that your highest factor is still +3. There's no penalty. So roll 3d6 plus 2 minus 2 plus 3. So 3d6 plus 3 is what your roll is.
We got the 13 again.
13. Okay. Meaning the purchase price, you depress the purchase price of electronics to 75% of base price. So this is advanced electronics, available for 75% of base price, any quantity. And so you can pay 75,000 credits per ton of electronics. How much do you want to buy? If you make a quick score and sell it quickly on Flostono, you've increased your profits for the ship funds just before the audit, and what they want to, you'll have enough money, and they may want to subtract about half of your ship funds and send it to the corporation. So they're expecting like a cut of 4 or 5,000, 500,000. 4 or 500,000 has to go to the corporation. It means it'll be subtracted from your ship profits, maybe more.
Okay. The ship's buying 12 tons.
Okay, so 12 times 75,000 makes sale price of.
I'll buy 1 ton.
Oops, 12 times 75,000 is 900,000. You don't quite have 900,000, do you?
We're taking out of the ship funds.
Even
We're
even
taking
you mean the reserve, the emergency?
the reserve ship funds, not the
Oh my
company
goodness.
funds. Let's
Okay,
do it.
so all right.
Yeah, just big, huh?
I'll put myself down for half a ton on my notes.
Okay, I'm writing
Under
numbers here.
inventory.
You have 825,870 credits, plus maybe another 74,130 credits from ship funds. That's 75% of the ship fund reserve. Are you sure you want to buy 12 tons?
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you're going to have something like, okay, what you need to make up a difference of 825,870 and 900,000. I was doing it in my head, and I'm surprisingly accurate in my head, but let me whip out a calculator because this is your life we're talking about. Okay, so I was right. 74,130 has to be subtracted from 100,000. So you clean out the company profits, and you have 25,870 credits left in the ship fund tilled. Are
Yep.
you okay with that?
That sounds what I got.
Okay. You can buy fewer tons to be safer, or you can kick in personal funds, and we figure out what each person's share is upon sale.
Yeah. I'm gonna buy 2 tons.
Ronnie buys 2 tons.
How much is 2 tons?
It's
150,000.
150,000.
150.
I don't have that much money.
Yeah, I don't have that much.
That's the
I
current
don't have that
price
much
at the
money.
moment.
I'm in for half a ton.
Yeah, I'm in for half a ton as well.
How much is half a ton then?
55,000.
Half of 75.
Half ton lots don't exist, do they? Because they would.
Well,
You have
Yeah,
two people could pitch in on 1
They're
ton.
electronic goods.
well,
That's
how
Yeah.
much is 1 ton then?
1 ton, 75,000.
Jen, you want to go in on a ton?
Yeah.
I'll
What's
go
Okay,
in
that?
with a
sorry,
ton with you, Tony.
I'm
Ronnie
going.
buys 2 tons. Please type in Roll20 what your share is if you want to go into buying
Jen and I are going to
multiple
buy a
tons.
ton. So that would be 37,000. Jen and I will buy 1 ton together. So
Yeah.
that's
Okay.
37,500 each that we have to subtract.
Okay.
Okay.
37,500.
So
Got it.
Jen and I are in for a ton, and
Me
then
and
we'll
Tony
split
are in
the
for a ton.
profits on that.
So that's 37,500.
Got it.
37,500.
Brogan, Astria, Virgil, Ronnie.
700.
You
And we'll
type it
just
in roll 20 and you make it official.
Yeah. So 5.
Virgil, okay, I'm being the bookie here and I'm writing Virgil for a ton. And you subtract from your personal character funds 75,000.
I've gone in for
Good
half a ton
price.
with Ved.
Yeah, we're getting half a ton each.
Oh, with Fed, not with Ronnie. Ronnie already has 2 tons.
I just typed
Sorry,
it in.
Virgil.
Austria and Brogan buy 1 ton together. 37,500 each. So we'll
Okay.
subtract that. I'll subtract that.
Mhm.
Astria, subtract 37,500 from your money. I'm going to do that on mine.
Okay.
Okay.
Tomo, Brian is absent,
Oh.
so I hear nothing from Tomo.
Well, Brian's going to be cooking. He's not paying attention. That's the way we're going to play that.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Wow, I
Now,
have.
so
I
if I understand correctly, Virgil and Ved are sharing a ton.
Yes.
35,000, 75 each. Okay. Anybody else? I think that's covering 3, 4, 4 or 5 characters.
No, I've got
I
not enough money, so that's all cool.
I
Captain,
I think I've got around 5 credits left.
RUR, you want to buy a ton?
ton at
RUR doesn't
75,000. Oh, sorry.
understand this.
Yeah. Did I don't think know if I added RUR's funds in. Let me add what RUR made. He had made 11,000 extra credits. Not much.
Yep.
He's just sort of dipping his big toe in the world of, business. Let me just add 11,000 to his sheet and see what we got. Oops. Oh, he's got an NPC sheet, which is a little different. Let me see. Cash. Okay, cash. He hasn't been flipping money around like you guys, but he has 43,000 credits now. He could go for half a ton with somebody else if there's anybody else left.
I don't have enough to make half a ton.
How much do you need to make up your half ton?
If it's based on 37 or 38,000,
I'll
I've
lend
got
you
30.
7,500.
No. I
No
just
profit.
need.
You can just pay me back when
It's
you
getting
get.
tricky.
How does that
Yeah.
sound?
All I need, if it's 38, we'll say it's just a little under 38, is 3,000. I can pay you. I'll pay you back 4,000 for the loan.
Okay, I'll give you 3,000 then.
Okay, rightio. So
So
what's the
you're
rate? How
offering
much?
a spot loan at 33% profit?
Yeah, I
Really?
don't mind that. I have no problem with that.
Okay. All right.
So
It's pretty high
half a ton was
profit.
worth how much? Sorry,
You can't expect me to get that much back.
how
Sorry, I
much
should
was half a
also
ton?
write on. Half a ton is 37,500.
37,500. Okay, that leaves me a grand total of 611 credits. Okay, so this is half a ton of advanced.
Advanced electronics. So you are sharing a ton.
Yep, with RUR.
You want to say a little prayer? I say a little prayer for you.
Oh no, I'll do that on the other end.
I had an item detail loan.
Yeah. Yep, that's all cool.
Okay, that's a deal you'll have to work out between yourselves. Loan.
Yep.
So write down that there's a loan involved on your sheet, Steve.
Yep. Yep, that's all
Okay,
cool.
and so let me just subtract 37,500 from 43,400. So I have to whip out the calculator on behalf of RUR. 43,400. And for our home audience, I just want to repeat that we are not Critical Role. This is the real RPGing, folks. 5,900 credits left. Interesting. RUR finds it all so damn fascinating, but he thinks it's obvious that one planet is rich, another planet is high tech. but where do I put that in my inventory? It's about half ton of advanced electronics. Perfect. Okay. Okay, is that it? Am I closing the till now? Am I closing the
Mm-hmm.
gavel? Okay,
Yeah.
Yeah, I
perfect.
guess so. No Tomo.
And let me just, oh, sorry, I didn't note RUR 67 and Sissery are sharing a ton, 37,500 each. Sissery is taking out a loan. How much was your loan amount?
4,000.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. True. Well, I'm giving him.
4,000.
I'm giving him 3,000, and he's giving me 4,000 on payment.
Okay, of 3,000 from Richard.
From Ved.
From Ved and
Sorry,
4K
Ved.
on.
Yeah, from Ved to be paid as 4,000. So, okay. Okay, that's very capitalistic. All right,
Mm-hmm.
perfect. So the deal is done. It's quantity, as I said, is no problem. Um, Oops, what do we have? 12 tons from ship, 1 ton from Wilson. Oh, so Wilson, you're buying on your own account a ton as well?
Yep.
1 ton, so 75,000 of your own money.
Yep.
Okay, 2 tons for Ronnie. Ronnie beats you. Where do you
Are
get all
these
that money?
tons
Okay,
over and above what's being bought by the ship, or subtracted from
it's
ship?
over and above. No, it's over
Okay.
and above the 12 tons of which is ship funds. Like pretty much all of the ship funds
Okay.
and ship profits. But if you hope for a quick sale with no problems to back to Stono, peaceful planet, no civil war in sight, unless the Severets go nuts. Um, and
It's
okay,
awesome.
so Ronnie buys 2 tons, Wilson buys 1 ton, Astria and Brogan share a ton, Virgil and Ved share a ton, RUS 67 and Sissery share a ton. Perfect. Okay, so in total cargo space, that's 12 plus 2 plus 1, 18 tons. 3, 4, 5, 6. So as far as
Okay.
I know, you've bought 6 tons on your personal accounts. Makes 18 tons, which is math. It's another way we're different from Critical Role because we actually do arithmetic here. Wow. Um, okay, you have cargo space. You have 63 tons empty, and your ship is empty.
Um,
63 minus 18 is 55. No, 45. 45 tons
Yeah.
left.
we could offer cargo space. See if there's people that want goods transported there, and
Yeah, that's just called freight. Freight at 1,600 credits. So you want to look for sufficient freight from
Yeah. So I want
Technica
to
to
look for freight
Bostono.
and then
Yeah.
passengers.
Okay. Freight, you can easily get 45 tons of very heavy freight. I think the Technica is interested in selling electronics and robots and all the things that you can't personally afford, but you can carry it as freight and get a safe 1,600 credits upon arrival. Credits per ton upon arrival. Passengers, 2. Uh, Wealthy technical types who can afford a vacation to Flostono, that's easy as well. So you can get 2 high passengers. And what do they pay for a they pay for a 2 parsec jump passengers.
10, isn't it?
It, yeah, we already saw the table a long time ago. Passenger traffic, passenger high passage across 2 parsecs pays 14,000 each on arrival. Well, when you conclude the deal, 15,000 credits each. Low passengers. Let's see. Um, I'm going to say that you face a shortage. You can only find 5 low passengers because people are generally more well-to-do and are less inclined to do that. So you only have a prospect of 5 low passengers this time at the standard 1,300 credits for 2 parsecs.
How much is luxury goods?
luxury goods here
Yeah.
or in general? Okay, well, luxury goods base price going to a rich world. Yeah, luxury goods is 200,000 credits per ton, and the rich factor of +4 upon sale.
So how many tons did we all get exactly?
18 in total.
We have
18 in
45
total.
tons spare.
Is that good?
Okay. So we have,
For how
can we get
expensive it
freight?
is.
Can we get freight? High dollar
Yes,
freight?
we did.
Well,
Yeah.
it sounds like Virgil's on the hunt for something else.
Oh, okay. Okay, never mind. I'm sorry.
I'm thinking luxury goods. I can do 20,000 in luxury goods, but
Well, there's luxury consumables, which is 20,000 per ton, but the luxury goods is 200,000 per ton.
but what's luxury consumables?
Okay, that's possible to sell to the restaurants on the resort worlds of Flostono. Luxury consumables is 20,000 credits per ton, and there's no particular beneficial. There's no purchase DM benefit, but upon sale, it's rich +2. Air foods, fine liquors, that sort of things. The
Yep, I'll get 1
resorts.
ton.
Okay, so this is off of your personal funds. You still have money.
Yeah, I still got 30,000.
Okay, now this is Virgil, and we're talking about luxury goods, not luxury consumables, not luxury goods. Oh, and I'm sorry, there's going to be a price roll because you can probably get a cheaper price than 20,000. 3d6 plus 2 minus 2. It's actually a straight roll. So 3d6 can go high, it can go low, depending on the vagaries of the market. There's no particular factor here. Somebody roll 3d6. And I'll maybe allow an extra factor if you want to use something like persuasion. Can somebody roll 3d6? I guess it's Captain Durwatt's deal. Either Captain Durwatt can do the deal or Virgil can do his own deal.
You want some help here, Virgil?
I don't have brokering, so
Oh, yeah, you gotta talk to you gotta understand the world of the trade center and the finance and the
yeah, well
stock
that's
market and upon
yeah,
what
so
local conditions are.
this is purely speculative, Cappy.
Okay.
I'm gonna looking at maybe some luxury consumables.
Well,
I'll help with I'll help with it.
you help with
Okay.
it. Do you want to
Roll
make
roll to assist, right? On
Yeah.
broker roll.
Yep.
I guess it's a unmodified broker roll then.
There we go. I succeed in assisting
Success.
on that one.
Okay, so it's 3d6 plus 1 if you want to do the roll, Justin.
10?
Ooh, okay, that's on the low side. 10 on the chart says the purchase price, because of whatever, there might be some demand going on. The purchase price is, oops, why the pages aren't turning?
243.
And on the purchase, well, that's not bad. Let's see, 3d6 plus 1 is 10. Well, 10 gives you 90% on the purchase. Is that right? Yeah. I'm sorry, let me think a bit. 3d6 plus 2 minus 2 plus 1. Roll a 10. Okay, so 90% of the price means that you can actually pick it up for 18,000 credits instead of 20,000. You want to pay 18,000?
Yes, I'll pay 18,000.
Okay, so that's sold at 18,000. That's the price for luxury consumables. Now, people might be drained of money. Does anybody else want to go in on luxury consumables of that price?
I'll take the 10.
Justin, Ronnie
How much
takes.
money do you got, Ronnie?
Me too.
Ronnie's got a lot of money, man.
What did
I
you
don't
do?
have a lot of
Doing
money. You don't
behind our
can't
backs
borrow
there,
money.
baby?
1 ton is
Ronnie's
18,000
good.
credits.
What is going on?
You know, if you want the good weed on the beach, you got to go to Ronnie. He doesn't fuck around.
Oh, I swear, for the record, I swear that I have not been side gaming with Ronnie to expand his illegal criminal empire or anything like that, so that he has all this
I'm
money.
not
Somehow
so
he got all the
sure.
money before. Because he was in on that other sale earlier.
Yeah, there was that,
Okay.
and I started out with a lot of money because I was a criminal, and I had a lot of money that the feds didn't find. So I had more than
Yeah, but your
100,000
drug
to
deal was
start with.
very small. I mean, it didn't really count for
Yeah.
much, but you parlayed your money wisely, I guess, as we
Hmm.
were traveling. But good.
Yeah.
You did your own deal. Okay, so Ronnie, in addition to you were already in on the purchase of some 2 tons of the advanced
Yeah.
electronics, and now you got 1 ton of luxury consumables, not luxury goods, but consumables, foods, fine wine. I think
Ed,
it'll be appreciated.
Ed will get a ton as well, but he'll go specifically for whiskies since he has an interest in them.
Okay, so Ved
And
takes 1 ton, 18,000 credits. So this is more on the liquor side, liquors, whiskey.
Yeah, well, yeah, liquors,
Yeah.
single malts, bourbons, you name it. He has an interest in
Okay.
all of those.
Okay. Well, it's very conceivable to have a ton of only whiskeys because of the unquenchable gullets of all the partygoers on Flastono, obviously. So I'll allow that. It's all whiskey. So you have the special crate. It's amber on the sensors. It appears amber colored. If you X-ray it, it's amber everywhere. It's an amber. It's a tiny amber zone of amber liquid. Yeah,
Beautiful.
amber zone.
Okay, is that right?
Highway to the amber zone, and it'll immediately be effortlessly sucked up by the Flastono economy.
Mantar,
Effortless.
Richard, and Tony.
I'm sorry. Type it. I'm sorry. Type things in the roll 20 to seal the deal. So Ronnie, 18,000 a ton. Ved should take, say that he's buying a ton specifically of liquors, whiskey. Who else? Virgil bought some. Yeah, 1 ton, 1 ton, 1 ton. Virgil helped to set the purchase price, or it was actually, no, the captain negotiated it. Quantity is not a problem. Anybody else? Okay, so if I'm going to close the shop then, and we have only a few minutes left, so I'm going to ask for rolls to head out to Ostono.
Were we able to fill the rest up with freight?
Yes, that's no problem.
Okay.
45 tons of freight. Now, actually, instead of just taking off from Technica, you have cargo. So,
Yeah, we do.
cargo loaded. I'm not going to play the takeoff yet because there might be some more business that you have or that you're offered on Technica. Let me see how I can express this. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say that there may be more business or happenings on Technica since it's such a high-tech planet, and it's also culturally strange if you're using the Traveler 5th edition rules, which means people are in, weird makeup, fluorescent makeup or whatever. There's a lot of cultural stuff you don't understand. Um, so before you take off for Lostono, I might have some other business for you in the next session. But for now, we'll conclude this session with a lot of drained finances. And again, you're taking a bit of a risk with your draining the emergency ship funds down to 24,000, whatever. You
Yeah,
have whatever it was,
25,000.
25,870 left. Um, okay, so there might be more business. So I'd ask you not to take off just yet. We'll handle that in the next session. Next game is going to be held. I have it as March 3rd in North America, March 4th in New Zealand, Antipodes, and we may have an Australian lurker. No, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? Sid has not shown up yet. But I have a very nice session, 7 players. Any other comments or questions on the recording? Anything else?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Thank you for
Okay,
a great
so I think we
session.
can
thank you.
Yeah, it was fun.
stop the recording. Sorry.